Hey, Bat Bunch. Okay, now you are heard, everyone.
Woo!
Whee!
Hello, everyone!
Yeah!
Welcome to my channel. Let's go around introducing ourselves. Oh wow. Oh, I forgot to turn the Twitch stuff on.
Whoa!
Wow!
This restaurant's cool.
This is a cool restaurant.
What's in this pudding, man?
Oh, you guys welcome us real well.
This salad got me tweaking.
All right, let's go top to bottom on the Discord. That's probably a good order to do things. So
Okay.
I'm Yam. This is my channel. If you're here, you probably know who I am, but if not, I make videos on character design and content creator culture. And yeah. Okay, EG.
Yay! Hi, I'm EG, or Squeegee, and I am mostly a YouTuber. I do stuff about design and VTuber things also. I teach art during my daily life, and that kind of bleeds over into what I make otherwise. So yeah, nice to meet you all. Yay!
Hello, I'm Kenny or Kanisu, and I just do a lot of VTuber commentary videos, mainly on my YouTube, and sometimes comment on stuff on Twitter as well. So,
Yeah.
Yay! Hello, I'm Lycoris. I also do YouTube, but also I've been on break for like 4 months, so I don't really post anything. But I mainly talk about VTubers and things I find interesting on the internet. And I like Yam. Thanks for having me.
Aw, thank you.
Oaks, it's your turn.
Oh, I couldn't see it. I'm sorry. Oh, sorry. Wow. The only brainstorming I do is media showers. I'm Okas. I stream on Twitch, mostly Boomer Games, and I get sweaty at Splatoon, and I also make video essays about VTubers and VTuber adjacent culture. Like the anime the kids are talking about these days, you know? Wah. And I'm very tiny inside the pudding, if you don't know where I'm coming from.
Hello, my name is Rima Evenstar. Thank you for having me. I mostly do videos on VTubers, and I mainly talk about things that I'm passionate about on my channel. Thanks for having me, Yam.
Yeah. I think you guys can all see the common thread here. We all make either commentary, culture, or tutorial videos over on YouTube. So everyone has some socials in the link of the YouTube stream. Please go show them some love. This is
Wait, Yam.
Is there someone? Look
Static.
right! Oh, static. Static, please.
I'm about to cry.
He's in the cell and I just see him.
I'm crying in the salad.
Static, please go ahead.
I'm Static Tokyo. I'm forgettable. I'm Static Tokyo. I just talk about whatever on YouTube. That's kind of it.
Let's go.
Yeah, thank you. Okay, you know what? Please go check out Static's videos. He's so underrated, and like he gets out a video like once a week, guys. I only get a video out once a month.
Couple
and-
months.
Yeah, once every 1 to 3 months. So let me turn off the Twitch crazy clapping. Hold on.
No, I like it.
You like it? You want to keep it? Okay,
Cute.
we'll keep it. Yeah, that's fine. That's fine. All right, let's see. Let's think. I don't know what's. I've never gotten this far.
Wow.
This is new territory.
This is still going way smoother than when we try to play an actual game. You
That's
know?
true. So tonight's discussion is about VTuber agencies. I'm sure you guys are all pretty familiar with what a VTuber agency is, but I also want to talk about some VTuber groups tonight. So, I just want to go around and, ask, what do you think the difference between a VTuber agency is and a VTuber group?
Basically, if there's a contract, that's like my thing. If there's some kind of legally enforceable thing, I think a group is more just like it's like more ad hoc. I guess technically we're forming a group at this very moment.
Oh my
if you want to look
gosh.
at it that way.
Oh my
it's just going to
gosh.
be disbanded at the end of this recording. We can call ourselves, Paradiso. Cinema Paradiso. There we go.
Yeah.
I like it.
I think the contract is the major thing. I think like having the exchange of you sign a contract for potential cut of your revenue, but getting services out of that potential cut of your revenue is kind of the definition of VTuber agency for me. And then anything that isn't legally obligated, I would say, is a VTuber group. Something that you form with your friends, or something that everyone just kind of volunteers to do, but can dip out at any moment.
Like a sakuru.
Yeah, I would say that's a good example.
Yeah.
As to whether the contracts are enforceable or not, well, your mileage may vary. As we've seen.
Yeah.
So it's mostly theoretical, I guess, but if that's the intent.
Yeah. Chat is also saying that there's also freedom in this, like a difference of freedom between VTuber agencies and VTuber groups. Yeah.
But the culture is quite different between the two. Because one, you're going into it knowing that this is like the commitment I put in as much as time as I want, versus this is my 9-to-5 job,
Yeah.
So you have a different mind going into it.
Yeah.
And also, like, you're usually friends with the people you make a group with and not like random strangers.
I mean, but there's a whole kind of VTuber, like, just group that's a lot of the audition ones, because I see a lot of those
really?
too.
Right?
I mean, I see
Yeah.
some of those, but they don't really last for long, do they?
No.
That's what I was gonna say, yeah.
They don't last.
How does
long
that
at all.
work? Like you just audition to be. Oh, okay. They rate you on whether you're entertaining or not, and like they kind of pick their top picks.
Yeah.
I
Yeah,
would-
essentially.
I would
It's like
say
getting into a nightclub, I guess.
what I
joining a
would
sorority or
say
something.
is oftentimes VTuber groups that are trying to run like agencies are expecting the same amount of workload from everyone without any of the promise.
Okay.
But we'll get into that because there's like this weird like the micro agency problem where they have nothing to offer, but you still have to like give up the same amount of things as if you were getting into Hololive.
That is crazy.
It reminds me of, and this is an old-timey reference, so it's okay if you don't know, but like in the early days of YouTube, there were the things called MLMs. Remember those?
MTN.
Yeah.
Or no, not MLM.
MLM, multi-channel
MCNs.
network.
Multi-level marketing.
MCNs.
I'm just like, yeah.
Oh,
Like they were,
You-
you knew what I meant. It was an acronym, and it was almost the right one. It started the right way, but like, it was basically. I mean, like a properly done one was basically an agency where you'd like sign up and they'd get you money and like equipment and stuff to make good quality content. But then there's tons of them that were just like these fly-by-night weirdo little operations that you basically promised to give them a percentage of all your ad revenue forever. This is back when you could make money from ad revenue. So, like, and they
I've been a part of 2 different networks since I've been on YouTube over like the years.
Oh.
And yeah, the experience with them is very mileage may vary.
yeah. It's
I had
like
a friend who
how
worked for
legit
Machinima
they are.
back in the day, and that's like he told me some crazy
Oh,
shit.
yeah, Machinima. Oh man.
Oh man.
Oh yeah.
Yeah.
That's like a big one. I do remember like being like way ancient times, like previous existence was like me and some friends did like a casual YouTube channel with like no intention of even like growing it or doing like just random little videos. That got an email from like some so-called multi-channel network in like Vancouver that was like, wow, we love your stuff, we want you to sign up and give us like 10% of whatever ad you might make.
Nope.
Like if you potentially
want your
make money.
money?
That's how like ubiquitous it was.
That's crazy.
What
But
were they
I
even
feel
gonna
like
do for
that's-
you? Did they even say?
They would usually, well, in the early days, they would promise like analytics and things before YouTube actually had all that built in, but increasingly YouTube would add it and it would just become really redundant. But it was just sort of like one of those things where
Whoa.
if you just got excited and said yes, is like, now you're kind of contractually obligated to give them money and you're just getting like stuff that you could get for free. Oops.
The
you
the
know?
biggest thing is that all of your revenue goes through them, then to you, so you don't. They could very well just keep a larger portion than they say they do, and you don't. You don't know. That was the problem, I think, with the big scandal with a bunch of large YouTubers got scammed by this this agency. I think Moist Critical was in it too.
Yeah.
Yeah. That's how they got a really bad rep. And they usually offer like, they're like, we're gonna reach out to sponsors for you, etc. But it's all some things that just a regular agency could do with much more transparency.
Yeah.
Or just like a manager if you had one, right?
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, I think maybe we're kind of it's like coming down the other side of it, but like we were kind of at that like point with VTubers of just like there's like that rush. Everyone wants like their own little. There's like all these little
The gold
operations
rush?
popping up.
All
Yeah,
the groups.
groups and mini agencies and what have you.
Yeah. I lost my document. Hold on. Okay. Yeah, multi-channel networks and agencies definitely see some parallels. My next question is, what would you say, what is the benefits of VTuber agencies versus VTuber groups versus staying solo?
Oh god, that's so
That's a
many
big
things.
topic. Yeah.
Yeah, I know.
It's a large
let's
topic.
Let's start with one. What is
Okay,
the benefits
A
of
VTuber
being
agency.
agency?
Yeah,
Okay.
being agency.
I would love to say stability. I would love to say
Stability.
it. I would love to say it. But apparently we can't say that.
It's
'Cause, like,
changed now. It's different.
Ideally, there's like the ideal, and then there's like your mileage may vary, but theoretically, what would the ideal benefit
The
be?
ideal benefits
Well-
would definitely be being able to do things that you wouldn't be able to do as a one person, like live concerts. You can't.
Like having a whole wave of people I can force to play Overwatch with me whenever I want.
What the hell? You never text me about that. I'd play Overwatch with you.
Oh, okay, let's do it.
Okay.
I play Overwatch too. What you talking about?
Oh right.
Oh, I didn't know.
Video
this is-
VTubers Overwatch.
This is an
No, but
Overwatch
seriously?
anonymous meeting.
When I first started VTubing, I really wanted to be in an agency. Like I was like researching, I was planning, I was auditioning multiple times and trying to figure out what is the best strategy to get them to watch my application video. And I learned that I don't really want to be in an agency. What I want to do is 3D motion capture and fun things like that. You know, the very high-end projects that usually only people like HoloLive and Nijisanji can do.
Yeah.
So I feel like people join agencies not because they want a manager, because I don't think people just decide I want a manager one day. It's they want to do these high level things like that cost lots of money, lots of time and stuff that they can't do as an indie.
Yeah.
So I feel like especially for concerts and girls who want to do like the idol stuff and join HoloLive for that. Like that's something you can't, well, I guess you could try, but you can't really do as an indie.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think the idea of having somebody put up the funding for you is also very alluring to a lot of, because we have to remember that it's a lot of young people that get into VTubing. Like the age group is very young, so they don't necessarily have the money to put multiple thousands of dollars on a model right off the bat, especially with all the expectations that people have on the model. And right now, like for the 3D concert is such a good point, because there's only like maybe a handful of studios around the world that can do those live 3D like mocap recording. It's actually very rare and it's extremely expensive. I think in Japan there's like the HoloLive one is rented out by Nijisanji.
Yeah.
Actually, because
It's
not
getting
a lot of
closer.
people have that technology. Yeah, there's some in LA too, for sure.
I have looked at the prices in LA. It is outrageous.
Yeah.
It is outrageous.
Yeah, that's where they filmed the Marvel movies too.
Yeah.
I looked at one of them the other day.
There's a new one actually specific for avatar capture. Like they mean VTubers, but it's literally $100 a minute. I am not kidding you. I am not kidding you.
What?
That is on their website. It is $100 a minute. So
Oh,
if you're
nah.
this kind of makes sense if you're doing like a music video, right? You dance to the music video. The music video is 3 to 5 minutes long, and then you get your money's worth. But oh boy, $100 a minute.
I got 50 cents in pocket lint. That's all I got for you, big dog. Oh nah.
Crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, even beyond like below the big time stuff like that, just any division of labor sounds really appealing to me. Like just being able to ring up people to help you make thumbnails and just like having access to all that like all the time.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Would
Yeah.
be
And
nice.
marketing and being able to
Support.
capitalize from others people's fan base. Like let's say your agency has a lot of talents that are popular. I mean, the fan base will kind of feed off each other, or
Right.
people will just go for the name.
Yeah, and then for me, I feel like one we haven't mentioned yet was when I first started VTubing, the reason I wanted to join HoloLive was because I wanted to VTube with people and I wanted friends. I can now tell you that this is the worst reason to join an agency, but
Oh no.
that was the reason I wanted to join HoloLive. And then my desire went from wanting to join HoloLive to realizing I can't make it into HoloLive to wanting to join or start my own agency. So my heart was in the right place, but logically it didn't make any sense.
I think that's a lot of people actually. There's a lot of people who realize, oh, I'm not good enough to join the current top 3 agencies. Therefore, let's make one by myself where
Yeah.
I'm the one. All of my resources, all of my like desires will come true because I will get the funding.
Yeah. Oh my
And that's why we see so many micro agencies.
There's also this funny thing that I've seen happen some, and like this does involve some like knowledge of past lives, which is not something to get into, but like I have seen, you know, some VTubers who debut in one kind of really small agency with the kind of point of it being so that they get their name out there a little bit more, so that they have that professionality, with the aim to leave it and get into a bigger one.
Yep.
And I've had heard people talk about that a lot.
Really? That's
Yeah.
a thing?
It's-
Like agency hop to it's
Yes.
like career hopping.
It's
yeah.
it's getting work
There are some-
experience.
Wasn't
Yeah, there's some
Suisei
Nijisanjis
in,
who
like,
did that.
That was like
Oh,
Suisei, right?
there
She was in
are.
some tiny agency before HoloLive, and she was indie. And
Yeah.
a bunch of other
Yep.
stuff.
Yeah.
Many,
It's all
many.
improvising.
In fact, the majority, like, I used to follow I won't say the agency name, but I used to closely follow a small agency who lost all their talents and had to close down. But it wasn't because the agency was bad, it's because all of their their members made it into other agencies they wanted to be in. Some of them
Oh my
now
Oh my
man.
god.
yeah.
It's a nightmare.
I guess.
Yeah, I guess the agencies are upping the bar more and more, so people feel like they need more experience on their resume or something.
Yeah, it is for the work experience a lot of the time. The track record and the notoriety, because when you want to agency hop, you have to have the followers, because allegedly, like, this is just my speculation, so please don't say that this is true, but I have a feeling that when VTuber agencies ask for your socials in your audition, they are kind of sorting the applicants by top socials to bottom socials, like numbers wise.
Oh yeah.
Oh no, I feel like that's 100% true.
yeah.
I don't even know if that's speculation.
Oh god.
Yeah. So yeah, that's kind of agencies. That's the benefits of agencies. And then I wanted to talk about VTuber groups. VTuber groups are like non-contractual obligations, usually independent creators kind of coming together for the sake of marketing themselves alongside each other. I am. Oh, go ahead.
Are we talking on like Iron Vortex, where it's just or like the VUgin type of group, or are we
Yeah.
talking like oh, just like any kind?
Any
of
kind.
group?
Like, friends decide, let's make a brand together. But since they are not a business, like, necessarily, they're either a small business or not a business. No one's contractually obligated to stay. There's no salary. Just kind of a collective agreement to volunteer and make this thing work. I
Bros
am in
being
one.
bros.
Oh, what did you say, Static?
I said bros being bros.
Yeah, bros being bros. Yeah.
Throw down.
I have an example because I am in a VTuber group. I am in VTuber Symphony Orchestra, which is...
Yeah, I was gonna ask you if you considered that one.
I
Yeah.
do consider it one because we are all volunteering to make a bigger project happen. You know, people have given money out of the kindness of their hearts to be like, okay, you know, I believe in this group. I'm gonna contribute some money to make the art happen or make the music video happen. I made the music video, and then I have also designed the uniforms. There's just a lot of everyone with a common goal kind of just working together to make that goal happen. And that goal kind of isn't possible on its own. Like, you can't make a one-man orchestra, right? So I consider VTuber Orchestra a good example of a VTuber group gone right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Absolutely.
It's probably like better if there's a really specific goal that they're like oriented around, you know?
Yeah.
That's
And not just sort of like we all stream whenever,
right.
and it kind of has a
Yeah.
common name. There was one group I remember from a couple, I don't know if they're still around, and I forget the name, so it's of limited utility, but their whole thing was they just wanted to make a big Minecraft thing, and they were around for like a year doing it. So like, but it was like a group. It wasn't like it wasn't part of an agency or anything. So that's kind of a similar concept. As long as they're all relentlessly dedicated to just, you know, like working on this one project until it's done, and then groups can be like disbanded and rebranded
Yep.
whenever they need, right?
Yeah, and they can last as long as... I think one of the benefits is it's not a big commitment.
Yeah.
It lasts as long as the activity does. Like, it could just be a collab series. I consider that like a group that is being marketed together for a collab series, and then you guys all break off and do your own thing. Oh shit, I didn't mute in time, sorry. Don't worry about it. Yeah, so I feel like the good thing about VTuber groups is kind of a fact that it's not a big commitment. You can leave whenever you want.
Like just now, and then you can come back.
The hard thing about VTuber groups is it is more work than if you stayed independent. It is not lessening the workload. You're actually taking on more work. Some people think, oh, if we're in this together, then it's going to make the work easier, which is true in a sense. you only do the work that is your specialty, but then you times the work by the amount of members you have. So instead of doing the video editing and the character designing and the streaming, just 3 examples, like let's say I have 1 unit of work for each of them. If we have 5 members and my specialty is streaming, then I'm hosting 5 times the amount of streams and just not doing the other kind of work. So now you have 5 units of work instead of 3 units of work, and it's all one type of work. That's usually how VTuber groups go, and it's actually more work than if you were on your own, I will say. Yeah.
I mean, I see them working sometimes when it's like people are kind of pulling together like resources to pay someone else to do those things then.
Yeah.
Where like they're kind of pulling resources to have a manager and then pulling the resources to pay someone else like to do editing of videos and stuff, where I think Invicta does that.
Oh.
Where I think that's, I mean, granted Invicta's like, I think half of Invicta's currently on a hiatus of some sort, but like I think that they've gotten mileage out of doing that, and the fact that they all kind of stream at different times a day from different time zones to some degree, I think that helps. Where I don't think there's one person who's doing all of it as much maybe at this point, but I know Taiga was pulling a lot of the weight for a while in terms of like running things. But
that's the other thing
Inverse
about
square
VTuber
law
groups.
formula.
Yeah.
I thought it'd be just like a group of streamers that would collab with each other often. I didn't know it actually entailed video editing or production or marketing fees. I assume you must spend a lot more time in meetings as well,
True.
compared to if you're an indie VTuber and you have kind of no one to answer to or no one to communicate things with.
I guess it depends.
I mean, there's 2 versions. There's the good version, which is what we've been talking about, and then there's the let's all just join under this common label and stream whenever we can, but other than that, we have no contact.
Right.
Okay.
The extra work I'm talking about is the thing that actually makes you a group to the public.
The better model? Okay.
Yeah.
Which is the collab work. For VTuber Orchestra, we have done a few. Well, I didn't stream with them. There was a collab stream, but I couldn't make it. But what we do is we have to have meetings, we have to do artwork for our next cover, and then we have to do, you know, because our whole group relies on the fact that we are all classical musicians, we have to make this giant production of over 30 recordings all in one cover. And it's definitely a big undertaking to do the part that makes us a group in the eyes of the public. It's a lot of coordination, and you need a really good leader who everyone respects. But then you also need a spirit of volunteering, because I've started a VTuber group before. My VTuber group was called VTuber Network, and I had to disband because I burned myself out, forcing myself to do all the labor myself because no one else was volunteering to do it. And
yeah, that's kind of the groups that I've heard about.
yeah,
those are the groups that I mostly see. It's either a group gets together and like, yeah, we're just friends, we're gonna stream under this name, and then they don't do anything ever together, and then they disband because they weren't doing anything.
exactly.
And then it's the group where it's like it's one person pulling all the weight, and then they stop because they got burned out, and then the group just ends up dissipating.
Yeah, I might go as far to say that an indie group that is fully functioning and actually working as intended is as rare as an agency that's fully functioning and working as intended.
Yeah. They're very few and far in between.
Yes.
The good ones that I've seen. But actually, what I've noticed the most, especially on Twitter, because, you know, Twitter. But if you're in one of those, like, groups where all you do is stream together and there's no actual group collective work, the amount of times I have seen Google Documents shit-talking each other.
Yeah! True!
Oh my god.
True.
I don't know if we hear about them because there's controversy, maybe we don't hear about the good ones because there's no problems.
Right.
Well, you would probably hear about the good ones because they're doing good, right? That they have fans, they're right?
Yeah, probably.
There's
So I
probably
feel
a
like-
strong correlation to just like half-baked projects and personalities that aren't geared towards successfully doing a project.
Yeah. I would honestly steer clear of a small group like that. If I know the outcome is just a document coming out about how bad I am at keeping up with my time management, it's like, okay, maybe not.
Yep.
But then also in a group, you're kind of attaching your name to everybody else's names too.
So
Yeah.
Where
true.
like same deals with like a sponsorship where that's the fear. You join one and you don't know everybody super well, and then suddenly something happens, like the Wrecking Crew thing that happened, or like what was the one that
The Wrecking Crew?
Rika was in? Yeah, that was the one that
VT
Poppy
Rainbow?
ran, kind of.
VT Rainbow, that's
too,
the only one I heard
Rainbow.
about, so that, I
Yeah.
don't think that's a good example.
Yeah.
Well, that's what I mean, where you have one person who they get the notoriety, they do something absurd nonsense, and then everybody else by tangent is somehow connected, and everyone's like, woo, about it. Where you don't know what's going on, you don't know if that's, like, you don't consent to whatever they've done, but you're still gonna connect it to them.
Yeah, I think it's important if you're joining a group that everybody kind of has the same level of work ethic, or they want to put in the same amount of things. So
It's really-
better to really know the people you're getting involved with before you do.
Yeah.
Or it's going to result in those, in college or in high school when they give you like the team projects, and there's always like maybe two people doing the work, maybe one, and then everybody else is not doing anything.
Yep.
Yeah.
So finally, we have come to the benefits of staying as an indie. Now, currently, all of us are indies, so take this with a grain of salt. What do you guys
I
think?
get to not post for 2 months, and I still am fine.
Yeah!
The tears, they do come, but they are not many.
Yeah.
We can come and go as we please.
Yeah, we can do whatever we want.
Exactly.
Yeah, it's really the freedom, I would say, is the primary benefit.
Yeah.
Downside is no one's heard of you. The plus side is no one's heard of you.
I've heard of you.
Wow. But agencies and big indies and whoever, like, even when things are going well, there's like a million people waiting for them to have any kind of issue to, like, there's no drama, like, channels talking about me, you know what I mean? Like, that's kind of nice. That's one of the nice things about being, like, not prominent enough on the radar for it to be, like, to anyone's material benefit to, like, futz with me, you know?
Yeah.
And I
can
think
make
it's
mistakes
not
and stuff.
it's not necessarily the popularity, because there's a lot of creators that are popular that don't get into controversies. I think once you join an agency, you have these idle expectations that start to get attached to you, and that's where the things get tricky.
Yeah. And I think...
Yeah,
Oh, go ahead, Static.
we don't got expectation like that. We just, obviously we got a slight expectation because there's people watching us, but we don't have the expectation that these big groups or YouTubers and agencies got, where they can't do no wrong, because if they mess up a little bit, they're on false ID instantly.
Yup.
No.
Yeah.
I like that there's not a standard either for indies, where, like, a lot of your agencies have the, like, I know Holostars and, like, Nichi Sanji has their male unit, but it's like, you are a girl who sings well, and idol thing, and, like, there's a lot of, like, standards and boxes that they check to stay within, like, that niche that's marketable, that stays safe in a lot of ways. And, like, I think, like, 80% of us probably don't fit in those boxes. So, like,
Yeah.
being an indie, we can kind of branch out into better niches, or, like, be ourselves in a way that isn't necessarily bad, but it doesn't fit with what an agency might be interested in or want or allow.
Yeah.
We don't have to pretend that we're dating people through the internet.
Yup. I think...
Oh, that's so
There's-
great.
Yeah.
Right?
There's more room for trial and error too, because, like, I wasn't doing videos at all when I first started. I didn't even like have a concrete plan. I was just like, I guess I'll stream some video games. I got Sonic. I like that one.
Yeah.
And I think, like, my first, like, standalone video wasn't until, like, 6 or 7 months after I opened my channel, and I'm like, oh, that was pretty good. I'll do another one. And it's just sort of like improvising your way. But, like, if you're in, like, a unit and there's, like, branding and marketing behind it, it's like, okay, you have to fit into this.
This
like,
branding and marketing.
Like, you're carrying, like, what, like, what the overall unit is doing, right?
Yeah.
Which isn't bad. It's just like a trade-off.
And I think that takes a very specific kind of person who can just strip like all the external factors out of their personality and focus on what's marketable within a specific group. That is very admirable to me if you can do that. I don't think the majority of people can, and I think that's why you see some people graduate from a VTuber agency so early. In fact, I think my Oshi of all time, my Kami Oshi, forever my favorite VTuber is Sukumo Sana. And I loved her because she was different from the Hololive lineup. But because she was so different from the culture, I do feel like she didn't feel like she was fitting in. And due to her life circumstances not being the best, she wasn't streaming as much as everyone else. And that kind of caused her to, you know, eventually leave because she felt like she couldn't really be an agency VTuber. And I feel like we do see that more and more. Like people getting into agencies and then it doesn't work out, and then their audience members have the audacity to say, oh, you wasted a spot, you wasted a perfectly good spot that could have been someone else's. And I'm like, no, they just weren't a fit. That's all this means. You don't need to make it extra drama.
They passed the auditions, you know.
There was a reason that they got in.
Exactly. But yeah, a lot of the time, I feel like people just aren't a fit for agencies.
Yeah, and I want to talk about maybe one example of someone who I think is really, really the epitome of they're in it for life, and that's the Fuamoko twins.
Yeah.
I feel like ever since they debuted, I haven't really keep up with them, but I have a friend who really is interested in Hololive. But have they missed a day of streaming since their debut? Because I feel like no.
I don't believe so.
I feel like every
they're
single
always
day
on
they
time,
have
too.
something. Yeah, it's either they're doing their morning show, or they stream, or they do 2 streams in a day. Like, those are the types of people who I feel like really, really benefit from an agency because they are in it to win it. Like, they are there for a reason because they enjoy it. And like, sure, if you put any one of us into an agency, we would love it. I feel like we would have a good time. We would get all the benefits, but me, I don't like streaming all that much. I'm not someone who streams very often, and I don't like to stream for long hours. Like 2 hours is good enough for me. But because they're like, you have to stream for like 5 days a week for like 3 hours, 4 hours, so people can give you super chats, people can stay with you, watch your VODs. Like, oh, maybe not.
Yeah, that's
so sorry.
That's actually something I meant, like being able to end a stream whenever you want.
Yeah.
And I'd be like, yeah, I've never had to think like I should go another hour or I'm missing out on income. Like, there is kind of that side of it. But if your like personal like goals and stuff just happen to line up really well with whatever that specific position in the agency is, that like it just depends. There's gonna be like some gap, but the smaller that gap is, the better off you are. And it's not always gonna be easy to tell going in, right?
Yeah. And honestly, I think some people I think humans are built differently, and my brain is not built for spontaneous commentary. My brain is built for you know, coming up with things over time and really taking my time on my content. I think if I was forced to do a quota that was more than anything once a month, I would explode, and you know, you'd have yam goo all over the walls. So
Yeah, that's a really good point though, for real, because I don't think I'll ever join a group or be in an agency ever, because I'm one of those people who is like, if you tell me to do it, I immediately don't want to do it anymore.
Yeah.
and
It's because when it comes to making videos, I didn't even plan to be a VTuber. I became one on accident. I do videos because I like doing it. The moment it stops being fun, I'm gonna stop. I'm gonna just leave.
Yeah. It's the same for me.
yeah, I think as a music major, I can definitely tell you that like once you make your passion your job, it stops being fun. So I've always told myself I need to have one creative expression that is work and one creative expression that is fun. So once visual art became my job, I stopped taking music seriously, and I made music my fun. And then if I go back to work as a music teacher, I will make art my fun, and I will stop making art my business. You see how
that's pretty smart.
Yeah, so that I always
like item
have
slots
Yes.
in an RPG.
So if you keep a video making or streaming in your fun slot, you're gonna have a lot more fun with it than if you put it in the professional slot. Then you need an escape from making streams and videos, otherwise you're gonna burn out.
So if I do get into an agency someday, I want to take up fly fishing.
That's the takeaway. That's the takeaway.
That's a good one.
All
That
right.
makes sense.
Let me pull up the document. I think we have covered this topic pretty well. All right. This is the main topic of the stream. So yeah, here we go. Are VTuber agencies still worth it in 2024? If so, which agencies are looking the most promising?
Ooh. Again, it depends on the type
Personally-
of person you are.
Yeah.
Personally, I don't think they are, even though I'm saying that when I literally hyped up an agency like not even like 2 weeks ago. But that agency is different. That's because they're cool. Is it worth it? I mean, I think they are. You just got to be way more careful with who you're deciding to go for, because there are some agencies that are more predatory now because they see VTubers more as a product than a person, which is icky, but it is how it is. It's a business, so I understand. But I think it just depends on what you're willing to do. If you're willing to uphold the contract and go for it, I guess.
No, you're right.
The contract, I think it's gotta depend on the type of contract you've got. If you have somebody that's gonna fund your model and fund your debut, and depending on the cut you're gonna give them, then it can be a good thing to start off your career. But then if the contract's not good and they get to keep your IP and you gotta self-fund your debut and you're already like thousands in the red and they're a small agency, so you're probably not gonna make this money back, then it's probably not worth it. I think the good agencies that are definitely worth it for sure. I mean, it's a Whole Life, Face Connect, Idol, and Niji Sanji. I mean, of course, I'm sure some people would argue that, but they still got a huge platform and they got a marketing team, a legal team, and all of that behind them. The name itself probably gives a lot of weight to your name, even if you don't stay there for a really long time.
Yeah, we've seen that happen already.
Yeah.
People got fired and they still have a platform
Yeah.
because of that notoriety. Yeah.
They know what they're doing.
Yeah.
They've been around for
Someone in
years,
your
you know. They make their mistakes sometimes, but they, you know.
Someone said get into Hololive and slowly work your way up to Mr. Piñaga.
Yeah, plan a coup. Easy.
Yeah.
I mean, I will say that, like, to my, like, maybe, like, I don't know if disappointment, but, you know, I look at a lot of the agencies and see, like, you know, their talents are not like, or maybe we're talking the smaller ones. Like, the ones that Rima said are definitely the ones that I feel like could still be worth it, but I don't see any point in joining, like, the micro agencies at this point,
No,
because
I don't at all.
like,
Yeah.
I see their talents getting, like, you know, views that are not Twitch partner level views, or like not performing very well, or, you know, I see a lot of them, like, you know, I'll research and be like, oh, who are their talents, and see, like, oh, their talents have like 1,000 people following them on Twitter, which I know followers aren't everything, but it's like, where is the marketing going wrong where they're not
Right.
able to promote these talents
Do
that
they
well? Or,
even
like,
have marketing?
Yeah.
that's what I'm saying.
Yeah.
Where like some of us, like, just like indies are able to market better than what is happening there, like, alone. So I feel like those talents are being maybe failed in some ways, where they're not getting the agency experience out of their agencies, and maybe it is just a stepping stone for them. But
Like-
I don't know.
Most businesses in general just fail like really fast. So like, you know, and like even like Hololive was really small when it started out, and it was like a spin-off project, wasn't it? Like it was originally just like a tech, like a speculative tech company of some kind.
I think so, yeah.
Hololive was
Yep.
originally supposed to be like an app or something, and then they just kind of like improvise their way to what they're doing now. But it's like, you know, and now like even if you're like setting the even if you have like a more clear goal of like, oh, okay, we'll do something like that, it's like the odds in general were always against even them.
Right.
They all got close to bankruptcy at some point or another. Where like
Yeah.
Hololive, I don't remember if they publicly announced it or somebody had like dug it out of their receipts, but they went close to bankruptcy on their branches when they were still. It was right before the English branch came out, I think.
Oh.
Yeah.
Oh, I didn't know that.
Yeah, it's interesting. Because, like, if you join a micro agency, you're gambling on them being the next Hololive, but we haven't seen anyone take their crown, so.
I've seen an up-and-coming one that have 2 really successful talents, and they only have 2 talents. I think it's called Heaven's Rend or something like that.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
Yeah.
They have
They're
2
English?
really successful talents. English, like they're based in America. But
Oh.
I don't see. I think they did another like a application period for auditions, but I don't really see a ton of the outwards management. I mean, I'm sure they do, but at the same time, like a lot of people have never heard of them. They've heard of the talent, but not the agency. Does that make sense?
Yeah.
So I don't know if the agency is providing like what they need to get the talent up there, or if the talent is just like superbly amazing by themselves.
Right, I have a feeling.
I would say those, if you see like a really successful talent from an agency, maybe that agency is doing a good thing in the background. Maybe you should like look at that one instead of the ones that have like 1,000 followers on Twitter.
Yeah. And I feel like a lot of the time, for me, it's the agency secrecy that I hate. The fact that we don't know makes them shady to me. Like, there's a Disney magic, and then there's hiding secrets in your basement, you know?
Yeah.
And I wonder if we, like, had this information transparent, how many agencies would we actually support? That's
true.
Oh.
Yeah, that's a
Fine,
good
what the
question.
fuck?
It's the fact that like the talents aren't allowed to talk, but the agency can. Also, that is weird.
That is weird. Whoa, what the? Whoa!
I mean, it's one of those things. Well,
Oh no, sorry. I can see from a general PR standpoint, you just don't want any random like you want some amount of like filtering. Basically, you don't want everyone to be able to separately go off and say their own take and then have contradictions floating around and stuff. But like, you know.
And you know how we see the non-NDA VTuber groups kind of glow up in flames? It could be because of the lack of
True.
NDA.
NDAs, yeah.
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 I mean, there is a little bit of like weird stuff that does trickle out of the agencies sometimes, where like the hearsay of like, oh well, I know somebody who works for somewhere, and they said that like it's like the my uncle worked at Nintendo thing. Like, you don't know how much to trust it, but it's the kind of thing where like it sounds feasible and it also sounds bad. It's like,
Right. Yeah.
I don't know.
That's
So like, 'cause I know recently.
That's
it's been, like, a lot
another
of, like,
It's
Yeah,
another
like-
layer also to verify if those person are actually working there, because they could just say,
Yeah.
"Oh, well, I'm under NDA. I can't tell you. I can't show you proof."
It's some weird stuff going on out there.
yeah.
Oh yeah.
Ooh, what was I gonna say? My bat brain is already kicking in. We're only like an hour in, not even. And
No, I had such a good point and I completely forgot it.
we gotta
I'm so mad at
remember to
myself right
hold
now.
on to our thoughts.
Oh no.
It was something about like it was something about like what agencies are worth joining to me.
What we don't know about what goes on, like how the sausage is made, kind of.
Yeah.
Yep.
Honestly, we don't know because of the secrecy though. We don't know how much is the talents either obvious talent, luck in the algorithm, or their like insane work ethic. We don't know how much of it is the talent and how much of it is the agency. And I feel like a lot of the times agencies will take credit for the work that their talents have done. I've seen.
I remembered. Sorry.
Go.
We kind of passed the topic already, but it was like when what do agencies have to hide, especially? There's a few agencies that I can name off the top of my head. I probably won't say it just for, but they have changed their brand name and everybody just forgot the shit that went on in the past under their other name.
About.
Not even, someone just say Walker, it's not even just Walker. I'm thinking about a different one that is like very prominent in the sphere right now, but I looked them up before their name changed. And I'm like, ooh, this is some really bad stuff, guys. This doesn't look good.
Oh yeah,
I know what you're talking about, yeah.
Burn off.
Yeah.
And now I really need those names after the stream.
After the stream.
Hey, you should probably research the agency. If they ever had a brand change, a name change, or a CEO change, you might want to steer clear.
Yeah.
Reminds me of the Opera GX story I read about recently. They actually have done some pretty shady things in the past, but they completely rebranded and just forgot about it.
Dang. Yeah.
That's interesting. I didn't know. I knew that VTubers would sometimes resurrect to get rid of controversy. I didn't know this applied to agencies too.
And apparently it works. Apparently.
All the time.
Oh gosh.
I feel like that's a lot, just like the business world in general, in a lot of ways, though.
That's true.
Yeah, you're
like,
right. Yeah.
The VTuber permutation of just like the kind of shenanigans that happens behind closed doors and decided at great oaken desks on a daily basis.
I guess it boils down to, like, if an agency is worth joining is if you're a kind of person who can corporatize your work or not, or your passion or not. And I am someone who can't. I can't even, like, follow the YouTube meta or even, like, be comfortable monetizing my... I'm comfortable monetizing my content to a point, but I can't Mr. Beastify my content. Like, it starts to feel yucky at a certain point. If I take a sponsorship I don't completely believe in, or if I, then I start to feel like yucky. So I can't do it.
Getting to pick and choose like your business relationships is a big one if you get to that point.
Yeah.
True.
Like, you're sponsored by candy.
Right.
And everyone, that's pretty cool.
I've been offered a surprising amount of money from, like, oh gosh, adult-oriented companies.
Oh God, wait.
Yeah.
I mean, some of
that
them
seems
could be
tight.
fun.
Well, the amount of money isn't surprising, but the fact of it is kind of...
Right! I don't know why me. Why me?
That's what I was
This is my
wondering.
whole
That's true.
content, and
That's
here's my
funny.
brand deal.
Yeah, you.
You know, it's... I'll just say it was a product that people under 18 can't buy.
Yeah.
And I was just like, that's a lot of money, but there's no freaking way. And agencies would be the
After
same.
Dark.
Yeah, I'm After Dark. Agencies would be the same way.
I love that. Yeah, after dark.
The whole way that
well, now
I was...
she's a nightshade.
She is a bat.
The whole way I came to grips with, like, I'm never gonna join Hololive and Niji Sanji, I have a literal video on this, was realizing I couldn't handle if body pillows were made of my character. If I had to participate...
Yeah.
As the
What are you
big
gonna
money
do with
maker
them?
too.
If I had to participate in Hololive Summer, my head would explode, and I would be
Oh yeah.
in the depressed
The
shower.
idea of recording a voice pack. So much respect for people who can do that, but
Right?
no.
Right?
All right, we need to get you to uwu training.
Also, I personally can't shut up about my boyfriend, so I can't join an agency.
I feel.
So, yeah.
Oh, that's right. Kayfabe is kind of like also more strict. I hadn't even thought of that. Like,
Oh, yeah,
indies
for
have it
sure.
too, right? But like, and then, like, kind of,
Yeah.
but not only if you want.
I actually don't think you need to give the appearance to be single to do well as a VTuber or even within an agency. So I'd like to see agencies not apply that rule anymore. I actually have this new theory on parasocial relationships where I think actually most people that watch VTubers and that are in a parasocial relationship aren't delusioned about the fact that they'll ever meet their VTuber or she. Like, they know that they don't know them. They just enjoy having them in the background, like as a friend, and sometimes giving them money to support them. Like you'd buy somebody a drink in a bar, or a friend a drink in a bar or something.
Yeah,
So I think you could capitalize on the friendship part of things without being
Like,
too predatory.
What are they called? Hostess bars?
Hostess bars.
No,
like a-
no, because that still goes into the whole romantic aspect. I actually like Moist Critical, for example. He always larps about other people's channel being parasocial, but I can guarantee you that most of his audience is parasocial with him, except it's not in a romantic way. It's just like, oh, Moist Critical could be a part of my group of friends. Like, he'd be somebody I'd have good conversations with, and that's why they watch him.
I will
think-
say
yes.
though,
sorry.
the culture in Japan for idols makes that very much virtually impossible to change. Especially because Hololive and Nijisanji, they are huge in Japan. Everywhere I go, I live in buttfuck nowhere Japan, and I can go into my local Lawson's and see the Hololive girls on
Wait,
display.
that's awesome.
Cool.
Yeah, like they're everywhere. And when I tell you, like, these fans in Japan will never ever drop the image of an idol, even if they know it's like, oh, this person is a real life outside of work. That's the reason why Rushio's thing blew up as much as it did, and she was like the parasocial person who really drew attention from that. But like in general, I don't think that that's possible because these big companies are rooted in Japanese idol culture. That even the EN branches, like if we talk about, I don't know, one of the EN Hololive girls, if they suddenly be like, oh, I'm actually married, I feel like they would get terminated.
Oh yeah, they're just like over like the
Yeah,
there was just like the new outfits. I don't even know what it is that the Hollow Stars and the Hololivers had together, and
Oh, I remember.
reviewed everyone. So we're cheering everyone on, and even like Fuumoko like went quiet during the boys because they get so much nonsense when they interact with any of them at all.
Right. I
Yeah.
don't
That's
blame
crazy.
Filled with nonsense.
I am a huge Hollow Stars fan. Like I'm here for the boys. And yet I don't blame Fuumoko for I feel like they were
Doing that,
deer
yeah.
in the headlights because you're live, right? And you have to make a split-second decision. If you cheer, someone's going to be mad. If you don't cheer, someone's going to be mad. And they picked one and they got backlash from the other side.
Yeah. But also
It's
that
the-
blew over in like a day, so
Yeah.
Well, like a few things helped, but
Guys, I gotta
it's
go.
like
Okay, bye,
well, that's
Static.
like the idol thing.
All right,
Oh.
bye-bye.
Oh,
Static.
Bye. Everyone go follow Static now.
yeah, he makes good stuff.
Especially because
So
we
w-
forgot about him.
Do you think because VShojo's not based in Japan that they don't have these idol expectations attached to them? And do you guys think that maybe new agencies or other agencies that are up and coming will be able to shed those expectations?
Well, like Hololive
I
ID
feel like,
is
yeah.
exempt for some reason.
Okay.
Like they interact with
Right?
the Hollow Stars all the time, and people are,
I think it's
as far as I know, unless there's some Kobo drama I've never heard of, but I don't think.
I will say
I think that's a mix of like what's her face? Ollie putting in the pressure and being like, no, I'm going to be friends with everybody. So I feel like it's largely her motivations to doing that. But on the VShojo thing, sorry, you can change if I'm wrong, but I feel like a lot of people in the VShojo community, one, already know what half the talents look like because they've posted pictures of themselves, which has already destroyed the image of this is my perfect anime girlfriend. And two, like, I feel like a lot of them are already open about relationships in general. Like, entering VShojo, like when Yanners, like she was already dating whatever that guy's name was when she joined VShojo.
Oh.
So I feel like there was already that expectation going in, like, okay, this is not like idols. Like we already know these creators because they were established long before VShojo, and that
It's also
now
the
they're just in a
pee-pee
brand.
poo-poo humor
Okay.
Yeah.
they've cultivated. That helps. But
Yeah.
Niji's kind of like Niji EN, at least. I don't know about the JP branch as much, but they're much more co-ed, you know.
Yeah.
And they make, like, even when they're co-ed streaming, they are fast and loose with the cock and balls humor, you know.
Yeah.
Like, they're not. I don't think there's been a lot of blowback for that.
And yet,
for them at least.
And yet, okay, I don't know how big the backlash was, but I totally remember when K9 Kuro joined, that there was definitely a few people upset by that still. Because K9 Kuro is a male streamer in VShojo, and I don't know if it was like just like why are you in literally V virtual girls, you know? But
I thought shoujo meant virgin. Am I wrong?
You're wrong! What do you think shoujo anime is, Ocus?
That's spelled different.
I mean, technically, yes, but we don't. I don't think we ever use it in that context.
Oh, okay.
My face is
thought
bright
that-
red.
No, shoujo just means girl.
Lo siento.
My face is as red as licorice.
Wow.
I don't remember that at all, though. I don't remember anyone being upset. It was just like a lot of jokes about like, V shonen now. I don't remember the upset about it.
I remember a little
Yeah.
bit, but it was not very major at all.
Okay.
It's a little hard to interpret because VShojo in particular just has like a contingent that is gonna dunk on them no matter what they do ever.
Right.
Yeah.
That's true.
Yeah.
They
That's
got them
very
some
true.
panties.
I feel like, like even in the questions we received one question that was like, why is Niji the worst? And then we got another question that was, why is Hololive the best? And I'm just like, what?
Real.
Oh man.
And that kind of shows
Clear
you
biases.
the biases.
God, we need some Niji positivity in here these days. It's so sad.
I personally consider Hololive and Niji Sanji equally as not for me as each other, but for different reasons. Personally, I feel like Hololive doesn't. They just don't look under the rug and they don't address issues, and then you're left wondering why someone was terminated. And then they go back to sweeping it under the rug, as well as the segregation of genders. I think that is such a bad idea. I think that is a terrible idea. But then Niji Sanji, you know, their management style on the EN side is another reason to complain. So personally,
Yes.
I think both of them could improve and should improve.
Yes.
I kind of get why Hololive does the thing, because they're kind of like the Nintendo or the Apple computer of this. Like, they just have the brand like locked down and they don't want to screw with it at all in the slightest way. And if that means we're stuck with weird mouses that only have one click button for a while, like that's just that's like the price they're willing to pay, you know.
You know what? The Apple and Microsoft kind of makes a lot of sense.
Oh my god, VTuber agencies are the new PC versus Mac. I didn't even think of that.
They are.
Yeah, is it gonna be the
PlayStation
Xbox versus
Xbox.
No, I think
We're gonna have console wars.
we gotta, as people, anyways, as fans, we just gotta support the people in it individually, ignore the ones we don't necessarily want to support, and, you know, fight for their companies to do better for them. Both of them. Not in a hateful way. Please, don't just hate the company because they, you know, didn't support your Oshi like you wanted. Just ask them to do better. And instead of contacting, like, going into someone's stream and being like, your company sucks, actually email the company and say, hey,
You suck.
no!
No way to make the talent sad.
No, like, I guess we're gonna use Selene because this is what I know. But like, email Niji Sanji and be like, hey, why was this cover taken down? We would really like it back. That's how you properly give feedback.
Just stick to simping.
Yeah.
That's the healthiest thing.
Just throw money at her.
It's
I will
just
say-
weird when.
Yeah,
Go ahead.
No, go ahead.
Oh, I I think it's weird when people take the side of the companies rather than the talents, because I feel like I would always pick the talent, but I find out that this whole culture, even in Japan or Korea, that all the major labels also get their stands and their fans that are as diehard as like fans of the idol groups themselves. That's a crazy concept to me.
Yeah.
Brand loyalty is it's a thing.
Yeah.
It is a thing. All right.
There's so many people who watch Hollow anything, regardless of what it is.
That
is true.
That
is true.
Brand loyalty. So sorry. We've been on this question and I just let it go. I'm not a good host, but thank you guys.
It was a good discussion.
Yeah.
I will say for the side of Niji Sanji, everybody I feel like is dogpiling Niji Sanji, and a lot of shout out to Underhill.
Yeah.
He's like the one positive voice currently in like the YouTube sphere talking about Niji Sanji. I will say, while we've seen a lot of bumps in the road for the English department of Niji Sanji, in Japan, it is very evident to me that the majority of everyday people who are interested in anime, they like Niji Sanji more than Hololive, just in general with the people I've talked to. And like they are doing really good promoting their talents. And then if anybody keeps up with the JP side, Kronar, they're using the 3D studio like every week.
That's
so is
awesome.
the Rough Now Boys. They're doing it every week. They're doing full karaoke sessions. They're doing full live events for just regular like birthday streams and things like that. So while it's very clear that Hololive EN has a little bit more benefits than what we see the Niji EN guys have, in the JP sphere, they're both like very successful, top, well-managed agencies. So I just want to put that out there. Any Color is not Black or Kurosanji. Okay?
Oh my gosh, yeah.
I don't think they're a black company,
They're not.
but
They are.
I do think they
yeah.
mismanage all of their overseas branch and not
Yes,
just
that is the only
thing.
EN. We
Black
know
company's
EN
a
more,
strong
but
term.
Yeah.
but
I will
yeah.
only say, just their outside management outside of Japan, because it's so hard to deal with time zones and working with laws and all that stuff from different areas. It's hard to, get them all the resources. Like that's why even Kiara, she's like, I really wanted to do my live stream, my 3D live stream, but it can't happen because everybody's booked out the 3D space, and also she lives in like Germany or somewhere. Like it's really hard to fly out there specifically for the 3D thing. And that's just what happens when you're an international branch, because you don't live where Tokyo is. So that's like the only thing I can fault them on in the big, huge, grand scale of things.
Yeah.
Since I see them everywhere in Japan, like everywhere.
Yeah, that's like
That's good
just
to
like
know.
not just the business, but like just getting the culture gap stuff. Like just
Yeah.
not people overseas just don't get the idol thing on the same wavelength as in Japan. So like that alone is like such a weird thing for people to process a lot.
I think
And just like how do
Yeah.
you market to like a different culture? That's like in general that's hard.
huge. Yeah, and I think
And they're far from the first company to have that problem.
Yeah.
And since it's fresh in my mind, because Rima made a huge video on the downfall of Niji Sanji's reputation in the West. And something that really stood out to me when I was watching that video, go watch it by the way, guys, respectfully,
Thank you.
is the fact that I think we just we want Niji Sanji to treat the members like family instead of like a management company, because we see that in Hololive. We see the perception of it being a family, not a business to run. Because Niji Sanji is very more clearly business minded. I will say like the letting go the Indian branch. That is a business decision that makes very clear business sense on business paper.
Right.
But then because you're marketing these as like real people to interact with, people are gonna get attached, and treating it like a business at the end of the day in the public eye is gonna make people mad.
Yeah.
And I think that's why Hololive sweeps their problems under the rug so quickly all the time, and it I think somewhere in the middle would be.
I mean, with
King Four
Hololive,
killed Yoshi.
it's also to protect the talents too.
That's
like,
true.
I mean, the biggest black spear on Hololive's career is the Vesper and Magni like termination that they just disappeared, and then the whole manager stalking a talent, which is gonna be in my next video,
Oh,
which is like the
Oh, man.
biggest yabs, I think. And then like how they kind of failed to protect Coco during the whole Taiwan incident.
right.
Yeah.
But aside from that, they are as implicated with their talents management as they seem to be. That's the thing. Like the manager is known from like various accounts to be like a really kind and generous person of his time. So it kind of radiates from him. Like they have a really charismatic leader. Do you guys think this is the main source of like their success? Is that family? It feels like a family approach, or what do you guys think?
Oh, I
It
don't
might
know.
also be what's working for Idol though, because I think Idol has a kind of similar thing happening. At least for like, I'm not super involved with knowing what goes on with Idol, but at least their outward like appearance to it like feels similar to me at least. And I know that the same deal with like their CEO is somebody who is looked upon very fondly as like a good figure who is providing all this help to everybody, and that helps them with their PR to some degree.
Yeah.
Like,
FaZe,
yeah,
I see the FaZe Connect CEO there with his like avatar, his fish avatar a lot.
Yeah.
And
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, that's kind of like those. Him and Yago are kind of like characters, also like in the context of like the content. They got the sad Yago picture and stuff like that. You know, I think that wasn't like, that was just like a lucky accident. But yeah, there's not really much. I don't really know much about Niji's CEO, like in comparison.
He's quite mysterious.
we
He's not
don't
as
know much
memeable.
about him.
At least
Yeah.
in the Western perspective,
Yeah.
we don't know much about him.
Yeah,
So there
the
you
only
go.
articles I found about him was from How Much He's Worth.
Yeah,
And it was all the same article, basically rewritten. Like, it's one of those articles that's been sent by the PR like department.
Yeah.
Yeah. Well,
like they look more like the Idol and Hollow, that like they have the appearance of more like family. I just wonder how much like that at the end they are still businesses, so they must like
they are
they'll
still
axe people when they
businesses.
have to.
It's a brand. It's a brand.
They're just like, I don't know what the magic is, but they're like really, really good at handling insanity behind the scenes without it just like spilling over. It's a very powerful skill.
Yeah.
Hololive right from the beginning had just crazy things going on constantly, and they like handled it.
Right.
Must be like Sanrio training. I wonder how much drama there was in the Hello Kitty offices.
Right.
Yeah.
I feel like businesses. I think Hololive does really well to make us forget that businesses need to make money at the end of the day. But
Yeah.
it's true. Businesses need to make money. Agencies need to make money. VTuber groups and indie VTubers, they don't need to make money unless they're making it their business. But with an agency, you are guaranteed that business comes first and the talents come second.
But low key, I was looking at the Hololive quarterly reports yesterday, and it was
Like a nerd.
Yeah, I don't
Sorry.
know. It was Q1 2023, and honestly, they don't make that much profit. So it's like this is kind of the fall off of treating your company like this. They're not making as much profit as Niji is. Like nowhere near.
Well, that's because
and the stock price is a lot lower.
Niji has more VTubers. They are live more, therefore there's more time to grab super chats, and there's someone for everyone. And honestly, Hololive has a more niche audience than Niji Sanji. Niji Sanji,
Yeah.
they are trying to have a wide audience. I think one of their mottos in Japanese is like, there's a liver for everyone.
Oh.
Yeah.
They have their hands in many sinister soups.
Exactly.
One could say.
So, like, I think it makes sense that they're more business-minded, because there is no way to treat hundreds of
Yeah.
livers like a family.
They kind of
Oh, yeah.
have that more like ruthless venture capitalist approach where it's like launch a million things knowing full well a lot of them aren't going to work and the few that do are going to like make up for it.
Yeah.
Yeah.
It's just, which is, you know, it works.
Right.
It's not
Yeah.
really a good or bad, but it kind of sucks that like someone's Oshi is just going to be, you know, cast into the fire sooner or later.
Yeah,
Oh,
as a
gosh.
consumer, obviously we probably like this less because we're seeing it from the consumer point of view, but I'm sure their shareholders are happy.
I honestly think you are in the best spot if your Oshi is a successful indie. But they're just because if they're
Yeah.
successful enough to do it full time, chances are they're gonna do it full time. And then you're set because you know they're getting a good cut and they're transparent with you and you know all the time. But it's really hard to get to Shy Lily's level as an indie, you know. But if I ever got there and I was a streamer, I'm not a streamer and I'm not interested in doing this full time. But if I got there, I would, you know, take full advantage of that and never join an agency. And now I finally remembered what my original point was. We're circling back. My original point was...
Circle.
Oh no, I forgot it again. Wait, Shy Lily
Oh,
Indie.
there's really not a lot of RAM in that bat brain, huh?
No!
I've done that though.
No! Wait. Shy Lily Indie. Oh, I got it! Okay, agencies are only beneficial to indies up until a point. Then the only reason they're staying is because their IP is there. And I think that's something we all gotta come to terms with. Most of the time, agencies are only beneficial up till a point. So I don't consider it like, oh, why is my Oshi leaving? Is it because the agency is bad? No, a lot of the time it's just because it was beneficial up until a point, and now it's not.
Big time, yeah.
Yep.
Yeah, it's more of like it's less of like a niche, like weird hobbyist scene now too, you know? It's just like the barrier to entry is a lot less. There's more of everything everywhere. Like time was, you couldn't really even find live 2D tutorials on YouTube unless you were diving way deep. Now there's like entire channels dedicated to it, you know what I mean?
Yeah.
Like, so it's like everywhere you look, the industry is like fractalizing and it's just more saturated and
Yep.
that's good and bad in different ways.
Right? All right. I'm gonna throw us another bone of a question.
Okay.
Here's the
Sure,
last
bone.
one that I prepared, and then we can get to some of the fan submitted ones. I want to ask you guys, what is your biggest green flag for an agency, and what is your biggest red flag?
Oh, that's a tough one. Who wants to go first?
I can. I am
Okay.
prepared. My biggest green flag for an agency is transparency. I would say Idol and VShojo have been killing it in that recently. Idol giving the pay split, oh my gosh, big green flag. My biggest red flag, and this might not be a very common one, but my biggest red flag in an agency is gender segregation. I personally, I feel like that means I'm going to be marketed romantically, and for myself, that is off the table. So,
Yep.
I will not, like, even consider an agency that is segregated by gender, or doesn't even accept non-female talents.
Ooh, that's like most of them.
Right? I'm indie, guys. I'm staying indie.
So Idol has your biggest
Green
green
and red
flag and red.
And it's
More
frustrating.
red flags than Rabat. Dang. Well, I guess that kind of ties into like just how much like if your individual style and goals happen to line up, like if you're good with all that, you know. And some people are. That's fine. But you know, yeah, that'd be a rough scene if those are just like your lines, you know.
Yeah.
I don't
Yeah, I
think
mean,
I
I-
have like specific green and red flags.
Yeah.
I think it's like everything I know combined tells me if you're a good agency or not.
I mean,
I guess the
a
red flag is if they. Oh, sorry. If they just like don't seem to have a specific like plan or a pitch or whatever you'd call it. If it's just, you know, like if it's just like a thing that popped up out of nowhere and it's like, I'm some guy and I started an agency. Come work for me. And step 2 ? Step 3 profit, you know?
Exactly that, yeah.
Underpants gnomes logic. That's a good red flag.
Mm-hmm.
Nobody else.
If I would, sorry, go ahead.
For me at least, the red flag, we saw this not that long ago, I think. We talked about it a little bit amongst ourselves, but seeing auditions for a group marketed as like a sort of like way of making friends, like marketing it based on that, where it seems like it's preying upon the loneliness of people who are, you know, you see a lot of those posts on Twitter and everywhere else that are like, I'm looking for friends, I like don't have friends in this year or something, where it's like, I feel like that's a very like prominent thing going on with VTubers, especially like, I don't want to say post-COVID, COVID's still happening, but post like lockdown, there's a lot of loneliness out there, and I feel like it's being preyed on, and they're looking for those people who, because they want that so badly, they might be willing to give up other things for it.
That's a good point. I didn't think about that.
Yeah, I think I'd agree with that one too. Or
I think the
one day I
biggest
have
red-
legit nothing to offer. Sorry, can you go ahead?
Yeah, I was just gonna say the biggest red flag that I usually see is in like the audition forms, and usually when they start asking for certain requirements, like for example, like editing skills, things like that, or like previous marketing background, things that, you know, typically you would think the agency would provide for you.
Right? Oh,
Right. Good, yeah.
Oh yeah.
yeah. And the other thing is, if they don't even have a website, run.
Run.
Do they have a trademark to their brand? Or is this just like a VTuber group that is pretending to be an agency?
Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah,
Do they
I think
have
if
friends?
anything, my red flag would be, especially for the smaller agencies, quotations agencies, if the only thing that they're doing on their main agency account is just retweeting the livers schedules or retweeting their going live posts, and you just keep scrolling and you're scrolling and you don't see anything about marketing. Like there's no, ooh, here's merch, or ooh, here's this really cool event that she's gonna do, or all that stuff. Nope, it's just schedule. It's like, yeah, okay, so you're not offering anything. I see.
Right? Yeah, you gotta look for like, you gotta
Value?
look for value. If they're
Value.
it's hard to say if you're Gen Zero. You're totally taking a risk if you're Gen Zero, but if you are a few generations in, look at their main page. Are they doing group covers? Are those covers mixed by people other than the people in the agency? Are they are they like doing things, or are they just wanting to write off your success or prey upon you with the promise of a model, but then you're kind of contractually obligated to work like a slave for them for half the pay you could have done as an indie? Don't just join an agency for friends. Don't just join an agency for models. Those are the two things I say. If that's why you're joining an
models,
agency, don't do it. They're free to use models.
They're free to use models that look better than the ones in Niji-san.
Oh my gosh! Yeah!
You said it.
Sorry.
You can
Honestly,
also
that's the
be a
biggest reason I wouldn't
VTuber.
join.
Right?
It's fine.
The other thing is, I think it's a no-brainer for people who are self-made VTubers to stay indie, because if you can make everything yourself, you might as well. I guess the only other place I was looking for was Kawa Entertainment, but now they are gone. But I could have, I could have kept
Kawa.
my model in there. Yeah.
How do you guys feel about that business model, though? Where, like, I wanted to ask about that anyway, of, like, having the VTuber agency, I guess, like, in quotations, which they aren't anymore, that was, like, a pay-in model, where you pay in to be a part of the agency, therefore you get some benefits from it. I don't actually know what they were paying, but, you know, they were at, like, cons and doing all kinds of cool stuff
I
with it.
would do it. If I felt like it was a good fit culturally, I would do it.
I don't know. I was just genuinely confused with their whole idea. I never looked into it because I was like, I don't understand.
Wait, so you pay in and they set up projects for them? That's kind of good. It's better than having a percentage if you are making a lot of money from donations and stuff, probably.
I don't know. I have no idea what they did.
How do you ban someone on Twitch? I don't remember.
Right.
Oh,
Okay,
there it is.
Right click.
Thank you. Okay, anyways.
Is that one of the questions, the user submitted ones?
Yeah, how do you ban someone on Twitch? Kawa Math was a dreamer. It was a dreamer model, but I would... I think I am personally suited for a VTuber group. Like, a good VTuber group, though. Not like a dysfunctional one. Just like, if you're suited for an agency, you need one that's functional. I say I'm the most suited for VTuber groups, and they have to be functional. If they're dysfunctional, then yeah, you're gonna have a miserable time. But because I am self-made, I am doing this to do creative things like projects. Getting in group projects is just the next step, but I'm not someone who can be constantly churning out streams. I'm someone who is very conservative with how I want to be marketed. So a lot of the brand image of the majority of agencies around wouldn't fit. Like, even if if the gun run slid into my Twitter DMs tomorrow and said, like, Yam, you are the next person for VShoujo, I wouldn't join because I can't! And I would be so sad! I would be so sad, but...
That's so funny you say that about VShoujo, though, because some of their talents, like, don't go live more than, like, once or twice a month sometimes. Like, they're very loose.
Oh, yeah.
That's true. Okay, wait. The gun run?
She's been thinking it.
The gun run? Hey, maybe. I don't know if I want to audience share with VShoujo, but
Yeah, I assumed it was an issue with the Ribbled.
it might be. Yeah. Oh, that would be hard. Never mind. I can't say that statement, but as long as I can have, I think part of the appeal of VShoujo is I feel like they have complete control over pretty much everything, which is insane, and that means VShoujo has to be really, really, really selective of who they let in. That's just
It's when you think about it like that, it's amazing it's gone as smoothly as it has.
Yeah, honestly. How many people have left VShoujo? Is it just Nazuna?
Like,
oh no, there was a
four.
few. Silvervale,
Yeah.
and Nyan, and Vey. Okay.
Maybe
Yeah.
one more.
Anyways, let me.
Are there like contractual red flags that are known?
Yes.
Because I've
Okay.
never seen a real contract.
If you're
I'm actually illiterate.
if a contract is only specifying what you need to do for an agency and not what the agency is contractually obligated to do for you, negotiate, and if you can't negotiate, run.
Yep.
Everything
Well, that's a
you
good one.
expect from the agency to do, you need in writing.
Solid advice.
Yeah.
That's more or less,
Thank you for that actionable legal advice, Yam Esquire. My de facto lawyer.
I am not a lawyer.
Probably
I'm
hire
not a lawyer.
though. Joking aside, you should probably actually have a lawyer look at your contract first, right? Like,
Yeah.
Yeah,
Oh, absolutely.
yeah. I mean, it's corny advice, but yes. And if you
this says they're allowed to tase you.
if you don't have like if you don't have lawyer money,
Yeah.
then I guess you gotta study legal contracts on YouTube, and that's the next best thing you can do, right?
A lot of times you can get legal, like,
DIY
advising.
VTubing.
Oh, legal,
A lot
yeah.
of times you get advising without paying too. You just get the advisement. They don't change anything for you, but they can tell you whether it's worthwhile or not without paying.
Yeah.
The checklist: learn an editing program, learn rigging, then take the bar exam.
Are you becoming a VTuber lawyer?
Big step.
Hey, there are
That'd be-
VTubers who
that'd
are
be
lawyers.
That's awesome.
That'd be useful.
I mean, yeah, a sexy booby anime girl explaining the law would probably help a lot of people understand like
Oh,
their
yeah.
constitutional rights and stuff. That actually probably do a lot of good for society.
That reminds me of
what
that
I'm
game
saying.
where it's like the anime girl like teach you how to file your taxes.
Yeah, file the taxes. I was just thinking about that.
No way.
Yeah,
Or
a
how
whole agency that's just anime girls explaining like life skills.
Yeah. Or how they have crossover anime events at the blood drives in Japan, and you can get exclusive like handouts at the blood drives if you donate blood, and that has actually skyrocketed the amount of donations they have received in Japan. It was just
I mean, it works.
that
I
kind
didn't
of
even know
stealing
blood
this
plasma
idea.
was a thing.
Yeah,
until
that's
Iron Man.
great.
I mean, it's beneficial for everyone, right? Free advertising for the anime, and then, you know, there's so many otaku who want to donate blood. It's like...
It's for a good cause.
Oh gosh.
Dang.
There was another example I had. Oh yeah, Hatsune Miku was the ambassador during the pandemic, teaching people how to be safe during the pandemic, and she actually did several like news segments. Yeah, she was an official ambassador during COVID for Japan, which was
We love a queen.
3 of the Hololive VTubers are also like ambassadors for
Taurus.
some kind of
Go-Go
ministry.
Japan, not Go-Go Japan.
Is it
Darn
Taurus?
Ministry of Travel, yeah.
Yeah.
Tourist.
Yes,
That's like
yes.
Clarity Mori and what Gagura and someone else, or I think it's
In-
2 of them.
No, it was the 2 English
And
one and
Miko,
one Japanese. Miko, right?
Oh,
yeah.
Miko.
Yeah.
Wow.
Okay.
Dude, that's big brain.
That is big brain.
All right, we got through all of the questions I had, and now we have fan-submitted questions. The first one is from Mr.
Nice.
Underhill, who unfortunately couldn't be here tonight, but hopefully will
Aw.
join us for another
Next
episode
time.
one time. Yeah. Mr. Underhill asks us, hello, very important question. Why are all of you so cool and fun to talk to? How did you all become so based? Lastly, is it possible to learn this power?
Thank you.
Yeah.
This first
That's
time
so
someone
sweet.
has called me based.
You start off by ingesting a lot of salt.
Based?
No, but in all seriousness, I'm not gifted in content creation at all. I'm
No.
So-
you are. Shut up.
not in content creation. Well, okay, content creation is broad. Streaming and video making, I am not gifted in. It was just the creative drive to like show my art and analyze other people's art that brought me here. So I would say the way to get quote-unquote based like us is to follow your passions and be open to learning. Even if you feel like you're, oh, I'm too old to learn a new skill. No, you're not.
This is funny from Underhill, who is already also
Really
Based.
gifted.
Incredibly based.
Yeah.
Right?
an honor to hear this from such a lovely source.
Yeah.
I've learned to do so many things since I started my VTubing thing, and I'm dumb as hell. So
Let's
that's like-
go.
that's actually that's a very like, I didn't think I could like 3 years ago. If you showed me live 2D, I'd been like, I can't do that. I
Right.
wouldn't have even like
Right.
opened the program. Now I'm all like, yes. If I have innovated a new way of conditional booba jiggle. Yes, I've perfected a new formula.
Yeah, I think the hardest part is starting. You gotta. Okay, I sound like Mr. Beast giving advice now. Oh gosh!
give us the whole spiel. Go.
No. It's like if you start, then you'll know what you need to learn, and then as long as you're willing to learn that, then you're set. But
True.
you gotta start. You just gotta start. If you want to start drawing, just find something you want to draw and start, and then you will know what you need to learn. Like, oh gosh, I don't know how shading works. Then you learn shading. Like, if you get caught in the cycle of I need to learn everything before I start, you're never gonna start. But if you start, then you know exactly like the most pressing thing to learn. Yeah.
Absolutely. It's all about wearing 30 different hats.
Right? And
Yeah.
the best way to learn how to be good at art, rigging, technical issues, writing, entertaining, multitasking is to become a VTuber.
For real.
And you can do it without even leaving your house.
Yep.
And there's a YouTube video for everything nowadays.
Oh yeah.
Yeah, nowadays, when Okus and I
the
were
Discord server.
starting, there was no tutorials on Live 2D that were in
Oh my
English
God.
besides Brian Chui actually rigging for a mobile game, not a not a VTuber.
Oh.
So
Oh yeah.
I
and
tried
by the
to
time
learn
I
Live
found it,
2D
it was
in the
already,
days
like, a
of-
version outdated.
Yeah, the days of Fire Emblem when they released like their like package of the same thing. I tried to learn Live 2D back then, and there was nothing.
right, there is
This is
nothing.
like 2017. Yeah, it was awful, and therefore
It's
I
not
became 3D.
straightforward.
But like, no.
Yeah. So that I hope that answers your question, Mr. Underhill, who is already very
He
faced.
already knows.
One step at a time.
Who already very much knows all this stuff, because I honestly think Underhill might be the most experienced content creator besides Kenny. Kenny and Underhill have been going for a while.
Yeah, they've been there
Actually,
for a while.
Rima-
They've had multiple reincarnations.
Rima, I don't know your history. I shouldn't say that.
I was streaming, but I wouldn't say I was doing good content back then because I was just, I did that thing that everybody does when everybody was like, you need to stream every day, you need to put the content out 3
gosh.
times a week. But that's not how things work at all. It's really just about quality over quantity.
Yeah.
It's kind of nostalgic. I haven't heard that bad advice in a while.
Yeah.
No.
The community has learned.
Yeah.
Yes,
I don't
the
know about
community has
that.
learned. Thank God.
Or you build an audience around yourself that fully expects bad content all the time. Like my audience.
Let's go.
They expect scuff when they come here for the live streams, because there's half of my streams are just technical issues, and then the other half is the actual content. But like working on your weaknesses, I'm weak at tech. I built my first PC during the pandemic to start VTubing, so
Crap.
this
I'm
is
terrible at tech.
half of the uphill battle for me is to learn how to use a computer.
Yes, I feel you there.
I might be like the only person who had all the tech stuff and then nothing to do with it because it was during the shutdowns. Like I graduated from like an audio engineering major, and that was like I was supposed to like intern at like TV and stuff, and that was when all the shutdowns were happening. So I just had a bunch of equipment and like all the fresh knowledge, and I had nothing to do with it. So I'm like, oh, this VTubing stuff looks pretty cool.
Viola performance major who graduated during the pandemic and couldn't even join an orchestra. Yeah.
Oh, it's that like 2 high-fiving hands from that Schwarzenegger movie meme. Yeah, it's like we're both.
I
We all
graduated
sit back
with a
in the
bachelor's
ocean.
in Japanese, though. What the fuck?
That's
Aw.
dope, though.
So
Yeah,
fantastic.
so cool.
Nah, I can't. There's no jobs.
That's unfortunate.
Well, there's no jobs for us either. That's why we're here.
That's why we're VTubers.
That's why we
Yeah, I'm
became
procrastinating having a good
anime
job.
people.
I can't even speak Japanese.
All right, you guys ready for the next question?
Yes.
The next question is, what are some blind spots that companies keep running into and getting stuck in? What can an agency do to find blind spots?
What is our business model? We should have really thought about that before we.
The basic
Funding?
stumbling blocks. Funding. I think you have to realize how much capital you need if you want to be an agency, not a VTuber group. VTuber groups, the expectation is everyone volunteers, but you're probably not going to get volunteers. It's just how it is. Yeah.
Like, you actually need shareholders. You need people to like buy you into like the whole company thing. You have to make money and certain amount of revenue to give back to them. Like, it's a whole ordeal. And if you're someone who's just like randomly starting up a let's make a VTuber group, haha, and call it an agency, like, you don't have the business anything, like experience, anybody
lawyer?
near you, no connections.
Oh man.
Yeah, so that's what I feel like is like the number one roadblock that majority people fall into.
I think,
Yeah, they need to understand the market and what people want.
and I'm gonna say my personal like frustration is seeing smaller agencies just copy what the bigger agencies are doing and offering nothing new. You're literally offering nothing new.
Yeah.
It's the same
Doing
exact
live
problem
2D
as
models
being
who
a
play
streamer.
video games every day is not going to break into the market.
No.
Mm-hmm.
You
Because
can
it's like that whole like VTubing's over thing where everyone's like, oh, it's already been done. No, it literally hasn't. We've only done one thing forever. Do other things, please.
the fact that the video commentary VTubers kind of fit around a single table shows you that
I
There's
know.
not enough of us.
we're only missing a few
Yeah.
people, guys. It's not that.
And this is just like scratching the surface of things that are other than live streaming playing games. Like, there's a million other things being done on YouTube that are not being done by VTubers.
Right?
Come on.
Right?
I mean,
Or
when you think about it, most of the agency content is like not streaming, really, like the important stuff, because they spend the rest of the year putting on whole ass concerts with 30 people. You know, that I would argue is like their main thing, and the streaming is just kind of like to keep them visible.
right?
I guess so, yeah.
It's just it's my biggest frustration because I'm like, you're pouring all this money in and I see you making this investment of time and money, and then you have people on board, and then you're just Hololive but worse. Please don't be Hololive but worse. Please.
But worse, no.
Hololive, but worse. Yeah, you gotta bring something different.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Gotta find your niche, kind of like Face Connect. They have the monopoly on crazy girls,
Shit,
and that's their thing.
That's their
And it's
that's
working
their
for
niche.
them.
Fall into
It's
them.
working.
Actually, they've got such a good niche. It's like everyone who tries to copy it ends up burning and dying.
Right. Right.
It's so volatile. They've got the demon core.
Every
actually
time
genius.
every time another VTuber agency tries to get a Pippa, it crashes and burns. Only Face Connect.
Wrong.
That's as niche as it gets.
Yep.
Uh-huh.
No one else can even physically touch it.
Right. So
Mm-hmm.
I think like the people who are doing different things, like you got two options. You either do something different, or you do what VShojo does and you get personalities that have such a high track record that you know, it doesn't matter, their name's gonna carry it. And you can't do that if you're not established anyways, so it's like
Mm-hmm.
How did like the company of VShojo start up? Is it like the other ones were like tech guys? Did they just like, was it just a bunch of big streamers that like pooled their already money that they already had? And 'cause I actually don't know.
No, they got invited. I'm pretty sure.
Yeah,
because,
they
like,
did.
Gunrun.
Melody
okay.
given Gunrun like the idea to do this or something during a conversation.
So, I honestly, okay, technically, VShojo has contracts, but
Yeah.
their culture is a lot closer to a VTuber group, and whenever they do something that is agency-like, it crashes and burns. Like, remember the auditions?
Mhm.
Oh yeah.
They
I
should,
think they realized.
Well, that's because they didn't follow up on it. Yeah.
right.
I mean, it's kind of like, you know, it's this whole thing right now in corporate culture to always be looking for jobs. There's some jobs opening that are like always open during the whole year, but it's not because they actually need people to fill those spots right now. It's so they can have this backlog of people to call on to if they need to, and to collect data. So I feel like the audition was that, but worse. Or they thought they would need them, and then they realized that like all their spots were filled, or they picked up like bigger talents along the way.
Or they just
Who
realized
knows?
how hard it would be to preserve the ecosystem when they start
Yeah.
bringing in lots of people, and they're like, oh no.
Let's...
I think they didn't want to raise an entirely new talent because everybody knows everybody who joins VShojo already.
Yeah.
Mhm.
But like a new original talent from VShojo is something maybe they just decided not to do, and that's fair.
Yeah.
I just wish they would have given an announcement saying, "Hey, sorry, we didn't accept anybody from the audition. Thanks for trying."
Right.
Yeah.
You know?
I think
Supposedly Haruka got in from
the
auditions though.
Oh,
Yeah.
really?
Or what if you
Yeah.
open auditions but you don't get anybody that's you think is good enough or worth the investment? Are you just like,
that.
because that
No,
could be
you
a
just don't
thing.
do
You're just
anything.
like, sorry, I mean,
I
it's gonna cost me
honestly
millions of
just-
dollars
I
to
wish-
raise you.
I wish more VTuber agencies would just scout. I honestly
Yeah.
wish that
Yes.
more VTuber agencies would
Yes.
just scout.
That's what I think Idol did right. Yeah.
Yeah,
Idol
They
scouted their Gen
scouted
Zero.
Rin.
Yeah.
Oh, they did. They scouted Rin. Apparently, I know she talked about it a couple times.
Her entire wave was scouted.
Yeah,
At least from what I heard.
Oh, interesting.
Yeah, I think
had
you
no
go scout as
idea.
well.
That is smart.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah.
I think.
Although I feel like
Go ahead. Go ahead. I have my thought.
Oh.
I'm holding on.
I feel like with the auditions thing you were saying where they get all those auditions and don't find somebody who's worthwhile, that's crazy because even the micro agencies, they'll be like, oh, thank you for all the interest. Thank you for the 700 auditions that were filled out. It's like, oh, I'd hope that there's like one needle in a haystack out of 700, but sometimes it seems like maybe there wasn't. I don't know.
Yeah. I will say that, like, I feel like the reason that scouting doesn't happen is because if you're scouting, you are going to have people expect the company to be more than one person in a Discord. And if you get auditions, then you're gonna get a bunch of people who don't know better. I think, unfortunately, the not-so-good agencies prey on the young, naive, who can't afford...
New to the scene.
Not knowledgeable, and can't afford things on their own. And that is very unfortunate. So if you, like, if you're new to the scene, please just do your own thing for a while. Find a good friend group. Like, I think at the end of the day, I am comfortable where I am because instead of trying to continually join agencies, I've auditioned for 8 agencies, by the way. Instead of continually trying to make the agency thing work, I started just messaging people like, hey, do you wanna do something? Do you wanna join this Discord? And that's how my VTuber groups formed. And I'm happy with where I am now. And it has nothing to do with my numbers, okay? Like, you guys are gonna say, easy for you to say you have an audience. None of these people were my audience first. None of them. I reached out to them first. It's not the other way around, you know? Yeah.
Yeah, I think that's really good advice.
It's like the how to start a collab in general. It's just like if you think you have like a specifically good reason to reach out to a specific person and not just be like, who wants to collab?
Yeah.
I'm playing Minecraft or something someday maybe.
Yeah.
Yeah, it's
I want to
gotta be
do-
people you vibe with.
Yeah. Or at least,
And-
if nothing else, if you just have complementary skills of something. Like, I want to make this specific type of thing, and I can do this part, and you can do that part, maybe.
Yeah. Something that I'm gonna say VTuber Orchestra does is they say, hey, I'm doing this song, and this is the date. Who wants to, sing with me or, play piano for that? And then it just happens. I think there's this one guy who literally sings the harmony and then you can duet him. And that's how a lot of his collabs happen, is that's how he meets people. He facilitates the environment to meet people.
That's actually really cool.
Yeah.
That is cool.
So, I feel like... Oh, and Enva in chat. Enva literally accompanies people's singing with her piano. Like, that's how you facilitate connections. You encourage people to create with you. And if you don't have like a idea of what you want to create, then you probably aren't ready to invite people to collab, and you're definitely not ready to start a group. You're definitely not ready to join an agency. So the first thing you gotta do is figure out what you want to create and like how you can incorporate other people into that. Yeah.
Yeah, well said.
Good TED Talk.
I don't remember what the question was, but we can
I'm
move.
learning.
I don't even think that was the question.
Okay, does anyone need a break for a little bit? Use the bathroom, get more water? We've got a few more questions. I want to go for like 30 more minutes after, but you know, I want to make sure you guys are hydrated and...
I'm good to go.
Okay.
I'm good.
I have to go imminently.
Oh, right.
Whoa.
Ocus is gonna go stream.
Oh, okay. Have fun.
Overwatch, I'm sorry to say.
No.
You can just do me a favor and just like smoosh my picture down into the pudding so it looks like I'm trapped inside of it. And then I'll be like,
I'll eat you.
there we go.
Thank you so much, Ocus, for joining us. Go follow Ocus if you haven't already, but if you're following me, you probably follow Ocus because we collab all the time. And thank you so much, Ocus, for joining. We'll wrap up
really
these
fun.
questions. Yeah.
Thank you very much.
Bye-bye.
Bye, Ocus.
Take care.
All right. Let's grab another question. Some of these we've inadvertently answered, so.
I like pre-perused
We
your
yap
like.
a lot.
Yeah.
Do you guys have any that stand out to you that you really want to answer?
Ooh, I don't have the document open. Hold on.
Well, the black company allegations for Niji. I guess I'd like to.
Yeah.
We kind of touched on it already.
Yeah, but you just made a video on their reputation, so
You're the expert
Yeah.
here.
yeah.
I still don't think they're a black company. They're like mismanaged and they're a PR disaster. But they're still a publicly traded company, so they need to adhere to like certain standards and regulations, and not just to the shareholders. They still gotta like abide by the law of the country. And I mean, the thing with Japan law, Licorice can probably.
Ooh, I don't know about laws.
No, but like the work culture there is, from what I heard, is like really intense. Like you're just expected to
that's
work
true.
a lot. You're supposed to fall in line and don't swim against the current. And that's you can see that philosophy a lot in Niji Sanji. Whereas like Whole Life's business model is more like Western focused, or they borrow a lot of things from the way we do things.
Yeah.
So sometimes I wonder if Hololive wasn't there, if Niji Sanji reputation would be better, because we wouldn't have that other thing to compare them on.
Yeah, and I think the more, and this is just Twitter's fault. Well, not just Twitter's fault. This is social media's fault, because if it wasn't Twitter, it would be somewhere else. But it's the diluting of the seriousness of terms. I think you guys, we all need a refresher on what a black company is. When you're actually working for a black company, you feel like you can't escape. You have no life outside of the company, and a lot of people will actually die from overwork from working at a black company. So, you know, I hate how overused the term is becoming. It's definitely not something that I think many VTuber agencies actually fall under. I'd say the only one that would really fit that description would be Walkter and Akio.
Walkter?
Yeah.
I keep trying to call them Wacom. I'm like, no,
No, not the tablet company. Right. Like if the company is going to dox your personal information when you leave, I consider that a black company move, because it's literally blackmail. And so that is what I think the standard of black company allegations should be. If we just throw black company around, then it means nothing. And the fact that more people are like continuing to have activities in Nijisanji, and the fact that people can leave on good terms and have a nice graduation still means that Nijisanji as a whole is not a black company. It just isn't. Yeah.
Yeah, even the CEO, I had this quote from the CEO in the video where he says like, yeah, like if livers don't want to continue, they can leave whatever they want to. Now, do they cut fundings from a talent and basically leave them to be until they graduate? Maybe.
Yeah.
But still, they're not being forced to work. So no, I don't think it falls under black company.
No. Of course, we don't know everything that happens behind the scenes. We don't know what their contracts look like. But from what we can see on the outside, I wouldn't say they're a black company. I say they've done some pretty heartbreaking things. And if your Oshi got like really screwed over in Ichisanji, I'm really sorry. Like, I don't think, like, I mean, even before Nijisanji's behavior was questionable, I was wary of VTuber agencies as a whole, including Hololive and Nijisanji, so, you know, I'm not gonna go on a rant on why, but, like, just because I don't agree with a lot of the things they say and do, I would never use the term black company for something like that. Yeah.
100%. 100%.
Yep.
And
I'd agree.
I think the last thing I want to say about this is it actually makes the lives and the mental health of the people who are still in Nijisanji worse when such things
We
are...
joke about it so much,
Yeah.
So that's why I'm happy that Luca kind of stands up for himself when he does hear that stuff. He's usually the one who gets clipped and says like, hey, I don't like it when people shit talk my company, you know. And I think Millie too. So like, good for them.
Luca, Millie, and UQ Wilson are the three that I've seen stick up for the...
That's cool.
And I just can't believe the audacity of some people to like leave those messages in their own chat while they're having a good time.
Yeah.
Like...
Yeah, that's crazy.
That's...
Luca seems like a really calm person.
Yeah.
He was also the only one who didn't complain. Wait, I might be getting my facts wrong, but he like didn't complain during the AR cancellation event. He just seems like the kind of person that just sticks to himself and is unbothered by things. But at the same time, he's also doing really well in the company. And like he's got double, sometimes even triple the amount of subs that some of the girls do. So of course, I mean, maybe it's easier for him to do well, but it just feels like he has that really chill, calm vibe in the first place.
Yeah.
I think that's a good quality to have if you're going to be working in a corporation.
I agree. Yeah.
I think we can... I mean, besides respecting the livers while they're live and not saying anything like about the company they're in, the other thing we need to bring back into our vocabulary is shady. Shady business practices in black company is different. You can say something's shady. Don't say it's a black company, yeah,
it's just eluding the word for when there's actual like real crime being committed and real corporate malpractice.
Yeah. Yeah, shady and suspicious. I'll say a lot of the things Nijisanji has done is sussy. Yeah.
Sussy, little bit.
Okay. I'm trying to select. There's a few. Let's see. Oh, here's one. Is there a particular reason why many VTuber agency talents tend to stream on YouTube over Twitch or other streaming platform options? This is a good question.
I think they're following Hololive.
Yeah!
I feel like the YouTube discoverability is probably better. Like sometimes I get brand new VTuber debuts on my feed. Do you guys get some?
Yeah, I get those as well.
Sometimes, but you have to already be in the VTuber fandom. Like you're not reaching people who aren't already watching VTubers, because that's how YouTube recommends live streams, right? It's depending on the topics.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So do you think that Twitch is a little better then?
I'm not saying either are better. I'm just saying like the majority of streamers stream on Twitch. That's been a thing since forever. But since Hololive is the meta for VTubers and has been since like early 2020, I feel like when people think of, okay, here's the company, here's what we're going to stream on, they're going to go, oh, well, super chats are really cool, so therefore let's stream on YouTube.
I don't know. The 40% YouTube cut, I don't think it's that cool.
Yeah, but people don't know that. People don't think about that. They just think super chat is iconic.
I really don't understand why micro agencies do it other than Hololive, because you can get monetized a lot faster on Twitch. A lot faster. I still see a lot of the smaller agencies still rocking the 1,000 subs, not enough watch hours, because YouTube doesn't count live stream watch hours, by the way. So
it does?
It does not.
Wait, it doesn't? I thought it
does
did.
not.
It only counts
thought
VOD
that was the
watches.
whole hack.
Nope. Only VOD watches. Currently, this is not treated like a video. This is treated like a live stream, so this doesn't count towards my watch hours. So
Interesting.
I think like there's no reason for them to not choose Twitch, because then you can start getting money in the door, which is like VTuber agencies are what is it called? When something doesn't turn a profit for the first few years, speculative investment, something like that, where you are operating in the negatives for a while until you finally see a payoff. Like most small businesses, but especially with VTuber agencies, because the cost up front is quite a big chunk of change.
It's quite high.
Yeah, it's steep. Yeah.
I will say there are more of the agency VTubers who are now showing up on Twitch, where I'll see them recommended to me, where like Kyo will be on Twitch, or like Octavio just had a Twitch stream a couple days ago.
Nice. That's good.
Where they're maybe it is like, from what I've seen, it is mostly the boys. And I wonder what that means.
Honestly,
I wonder.
As a Hololive and Holostar like casual enjoyer, I think that they have different permissions because they are smaller.
Yeah, like Regis is on Twitch relatively often, I think, too.
I think
where
the Holostar's got more freedom to experiment because the Hololive girls, they found their formula, and Cover wants it locked into that formula and just continuing on with that formula as long as they can, whereas with Holostars, they're allowed to experiment, they're allowed to collab with indie VTubers, they're allowed to... Like, Regis Altera has been in my YouTube chat just saying, I love your videos, like, Viola is paused.
Oh my god,
So,
I would freak out.
I really freaked out. I actually screamed at the top of my
I saw the
lungs.
clip of it the other day. Yeah, it was so funny.
So, like, I don't think that Calliope Mori is gonna do that, you know? I think they just have a tighter leash on the Hololive brand than the Holostars brand. Though Pekor...
But then Niji Sanji too, though. Like, I see Uki is just in everybody's things over on Twitch.
That's Uki.
I guess.
Uki said, we don't give a shit anymore, and they just ran with it.
You know, I guess that's fair.
Yeah. Anyways, I think, one thing that everyone's sleeping on, and I'm very biased, is, dual streaming? Like, why isn't there an agency dual streaming? The last dual streaming agency I saw was Sundaria, and they have closed down, for years.
A while ago.
Yeah.
So...
I think you're not allowed to display maybe your YouTube chat when you're multicasting on... Wait, let me formulate that better. When you're multicasting, you're not allowed to display your YouTube chat in it. You're just supposed to display your Twitch chat. But the go around that is combining both chat rooms, and I wonder if maybe that's part of the reason.
I think that's a new addition to their policy. Like, when Hololive and Niji Sanji and all of these were getting their feet, or like multi-streaming wasn't restricted at all. And when I say dual streaming, I also mean like Twitch this day and YouTube this day, because as I have unfortunately found out, it's very easy to get into jail, and then what do you do as a small agency? Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
So
yeah, I'm even seeing interesting success in people who are dual streaming onto TikTok now too, and I'm wondering when the agencies are going to start doing that.
Yeah.
Where like a couple people
Ooh.
blew up through it, and in the indie sphere, and I wonder when the agencies are going to take some of that pie too.
yeah.
You
Well,
need
some of them have been doing schlongs, the YouTube short but long forms.
Oh, Schnickel Schlong.
Schlongs.
That's awesome.
I've seen a
Wait,
few
what
of
do you
them do
mean?
that.
How do you do that? What?
Yeah, it's a YouTube short, but you can live stream on YouTube Shorts now. So it's in the TikTok
Oh.
screen, but you're making a schlong.
You need a certain amount of followers before you can live stream on TikTok, though.
On TikTok, yeah, but I think
yeah.
on YouTube you're fine.
Mm-hmm.
No. On TikTok, you just need to be able to show that you have prior experience as a content creator, as a streamer somewhere else.
Wait, did
I
they
don't know how to do
change
that.
No,
that?
it has to be 1,000 followers on
Yeah.
TikTok.
Yeah, my
No.
TikTok isn't going well enough for this.
I'm seeing people who are streaming with less than that. I don't know if this is a new thing, but
Really?
there's an
Because
application
it's a
you
new
fill out
thing.
for it. Yeah.
Maybe. I do see a lot
Oh.
more live streams than like a few months ago. But I'm not big on TikTok. I'm kind of a TikTok noob, so I'll trust you on that one.
I know that was the case for a long time. Oh, I'm seeing in the chat that it is a new thing, but
Interesting.
now at least it seems like it might be viable.
Yeah.
Where I'm sure they'd trust a corporation to be like, hey, let our talent
Oh, maybe if
stream.
it's a corporate thing, then yeah, maybe. But I don't know about indies.
Yeah. I mean, I think to answer the question at the end of the day, it's because Hololive did it first, and Twitch is
Yeah.
less
Mhm.
predictable, whereas YouTube is, they make one really sucky change about every 6 months instead of like just randomly on Twitter you find out that like people can stream naked on Twitch. Like that is the Twitch
Yeah.
experience.
Mhm.
Well, they never could stream naked on Twitch, but they sure did. Like,
Oh,
sure
yeah, they
tried.
did.
and things
man.
get rolled out randomly on Twitch. It's so unpredictable. Every day's a new adventure on Twitch.television. Let me just
Oh
say that.
yeah.
Whereas YouTube, you probably know what's gonna be here in 10 years. You have no idea with Twitch. Sorry
Yeah.
to bum
also,
out all
I
the
just
Twitch
saw
streamers.
that Twitch is doing like a better partner split, like
Yes!
40, 60.
Mhm.
However,
No
how
way.
are they gonna afford that? Because Twitch is going bankrupt.
Right.
I don't understand that logic.
I think they're really, really trying to get the people who left for YouTube back.
I don't know, man. I feel like Amazon is covering the majority of their costs at this point. So as soon as
Yeah.
Amazon ditches them, they're fucked.
Yeah.
Twitch is going bankrupt? I wasn't even aware of
Yeah,
that.
they're not profitable.
They're not profitable at
Mhm.
all. Even the CEO is like, you can't. You
But
don't
what's
make
their
money here.
expenses besides like just the servers?
I
That's
don't
a
know.
pretty big expense.
Yeah, the sheer quantity of servers that
Yeah.
it takes to do this. That's why they're trying to roll out that like thing where you
Oh.
can host it on your end to have better quality. As much as they're trying to promote it as being like a woo, you can do it yourself. It's
It's
so
for
much a
you.
they want to cut cost thing. That's exactly what
I
it
didn't
is.
think about that, but now I realize that. Yeah.
Mm-hmm.
Oh, wow. Okay, so that kind of answers the question. It's a mixture of Hololive did it first, Hololive and Yuji Sanji did it first, and YouTube is more predictable. Let's see. Do you ever think we'll get to a future where ex-corpo talents are allowed to explicitly refer to their past corpo lives, given they are graduated and not fired? Not keeping their models is understandable, but having to deny their accomplishments and legacy is unfair.
Oh yeah. Don't NDAs expire after a certain amount of years?
Yeah,
But I think like what they're
I
talking.
mean, we kind of just saw that. Oh, go ahead.
I think what they're talking about is the moment someone is gonna graduate, they can acknowledge their time as the Niji Sanji or Hololive talent as an indie, like, right away.
Oh.
Yeah.
I mean, they already kind of do that. They just don't say names. Everybody still knows who they are, though.
Yeah, I think it's like an unspoken thing, and they'll usually, like, there's always clever ways to get around the NDA to talk about your experiences without divulging company information. Like saying,
Like, we kind of saw that with Mel and Rika.
Yeah.
When she went on her alt account and
yeah.
Immediately started talking
Confirmed.
about it, yeah.
Yeah, because NDAs can't stop you from talking about how horrible your last job was.
Yeah.
They can't say you are not allowed to say how you feel about your last job, right? You can.
yeah.
But I think the majority of the reason we don't hear about it is people want to move on. That's just it. A lot of people want to move on. I think the only person that hasn't wanted to move on in their career are the people who were terminated. But if someone graduates,
Yeah.
I think they want to move on, and we just have to respect that even if we don't want to move on as their audience.
Yeah,
So
you
if
also
there ever
don't want
gonna
to.
come a day, I don't think so.
Yeah, I don't think...
You don't think so?
No, not for that to be the norm, no.
Plus, like, let's say the NDA expires. Like, I think the thing they're implying, and I could be wrong, I'm so sorry if I'm misreading this, but like they want people to be able to talk about their experiences freely once they graduate. And I think that's really dangerous for the talents who are still active. Like, imagine.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh,
man.
Yeah, because, like, yeah, let's say someone graduated from Company A, and Company A had a bunch of other talents in it, and part of the NDA is talking about how you can't talk about anyone else's identities. You're having to trust your graduated member that they're not going to talk about your real identity from that one off collab, right?
yeah, that is pretty scary.
Like, if you're against NDAs, don't watch VTubers under NDAs, because you're gonna end up losing track of them at some point, or not, just being left in the dark. That's just the reality of watching agency VTubers.
Yeah.
That's just the reality of it. If you don't want that experience, support an indie VTuber. But even then, that's not a guarantee that they're gonna let you into their life, you know? Yeah. Right.
Oh, man. Yeah, I think the framing of an NDA as it being something that keeps not just the company safe, because that is what people usually think about when they think about it, but it does keep individuals safe. They're not a bad thing. An NDA is not inherently a bad thing.
Yeah, I
Yep.
think
And I think that it gets a bad rap a lot.
that operates on the being able to trust everyone to have the bestest of intentions in mind, and that's not how the world
No.
works.
That's not how it works.
No. And I think, I think what people want to know is, like, they want to peek behind the curtain, and they want to know how things are in the company, and I think that's why this is a wish of this this commenter. And I get that frustration, I get it so much, but it's unfortunately as much as we want to be able to have this in the good context, the implications of it being true in the bad context outweighs the good it would do.
Unfortunate, there's a
Yeah.
reason why these things are in place.
Right.
Yeah.
As, like, inherently anti-agency I am, I still support the decision to have NDAs about basic information, and, like, it's just something you gotta deal with. It's just not gonna happen, I don't think. And if it does, then you're gonna get what the drama that non-NDA VTuber groups get, but on a massive scale.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah.
Like leaking horrible, like, doxing members because there was a disagreement, or leaking an entire generation and completely ruining their chances of being anonymous with their debut. Like, there's horrible things that can happen when the NDA isn't respected. All right. Next question. Oh wait, how are we doing on time? Are we good for 10 more minutes? Maybe one
I
more.
have to get going. I have to get going because I have to do some schoolwork because I just realized what time was.
Oh
but
gosh!
Oh,
Okay, Kenny.
But-
good luck.
it's been really fun.
Yeah, thank you, Kenny. Everyone, go follow
Bye,
Kenny. Go follow
Bye.
Kenny Sue. Go-
Thank you.
Yeah, bye bye.
Good luck.
All right. Now it's just
I was gonna say,
a horse, a
better
bat,
drag.
and two plant people. Well, technically a fungi. Get it?
Close enough.
EG's a fun
A
guy.
fun guy. Ah.
I'm so honored that you think so.
Okay, let's do one more. Does anyone have a preference of what question we answer?
No.
Which are the ones that we didn't get to?
There's
see.
quite a few. Let's see.
Any pressing ones that we haven't already maybe touched on?
Let's see.
Speed reading.
I know, I'm trying.
Well, you know what's funny? I don't know if we actually talked about, like, Yam said some green flags about queer agencies. I don't even know if the rest of us actually gave any green
Yeah,
flags.
give some green flags.
Only red.
I don't know. Okay, a green flag for a company if their talents that are currently there are doing well.
Yes.
Like if they're fulfilled, if they're starting projects that they, like a big music project or a big 3D project, then that's how I know maybe the company is either helping them or gives them permissions to do these things, and that's what I find is a green flag in my case.
I feel like you guys have more knowledge of agencies than me. But for me, it was always a turnoff when they just have less than 100 Twitter followers. I'm just like, what kind of reach will they be able to get me? Because like paying for advertising and for ads online only gets you so far.
Right.
The only group that does it right now is like Idol, I guess, and they have the content to back it up.
Yeah.
Green flags, not red flags. Green flags.
Oh yeah,
It's hard. It's hard.
Green flag. Lots of followers.
Yeah.
Lots
flags.
of followers.
Lots of
There we go.
followers, or that you can see that they have like venture capital from investors, which you can't even from private groups like see if they got investments or money injected in them
Yeah.
by a quick Google search. Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. For me, a green flag is when a company has an outward-facing, like, person who works for the company who has credentials that make me feel like I can trust that this company is being run in a
that's good.
semi-satisfactory way.
That is
Where,
good.
like-
That is good. Yeah.
Yeah, where I can look up their LinkedIn and be like, aha, I see you. I see that you have a business degree or something similar, or...
Yeah, that's
And
what,
that
that's
they
what I
have
look for too as well.
positions for hire.
That too.
Positions for hire, like managers
Like
and stuff?
managers. Like you can even see like old listings. You can make sure that they have hired managers through LinkedIn, Glassdoor, etc., etc. Just
So you can make sure they're not a one-person agency.
just one guy in a Discord.
Oh, right.
I'm gonna.
Guy in Discord and his best friend.
Yep. That's just That's always the thing to look out for is that people who have credentials are working for the agency. Yeah.
Ooh, someone said like Achon. Yes, I would say
Yes.
Achon is a very, very good not red flag, green flag of the agency. But also like Gunrun and the idol guy, I forget his name. But yeah, those are all very green flags because they're open about
Yeah.
their job experience and a lot of the talents, especially when Kuro joined, he was so vocal about Gunrun being like the Giga Chad helping him with taxes. When we know that in Kuro's previous company, taxes were a big issue that management was not helping him with.
Right.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Yeah, you either have to be in the known and know a lot of people in the VTubing scene, or you have to know how things in the business scene and have a lot of connections there, and then you can have somebody you can lean on to explain to you the inner workings of how VTubing works.
And
But if you have none of those, then yeah.
knowing someone
Yeah.
who knows about VTubers is working in the agency, not just from a fan perspective, is also a good.
Yeah.
Like Ayan Agency is actually run by someone who started as a VTuber herself, and then she started a company. But she has been known, like, by the other Ayan girls to, like, be very hands-on, very involved, helping them with their stream and helping them with growth, because she's done it herself before.
Yeah. Yeah, that's why like ex-VTubers do really great managers, I think.
Yeah. So I would say those are, like, the main green flags to look in an agency. Credentials, followers, good contracts, but you might not ever see the contract, so yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, getting that far. This is like maybe a red flag, but I'm trying to think of a way to phrase it as a green
You
flag.
can just
but,
say
like,
a red flag, it's okay!
Oh, it's so weird seeing on Twitter agency talents asking for Discord mods or for like other mod applications, like themselves asking it from their communities.
Yeah.
Maybe that is just weird to me, but I feel like that is something that is like beckoning an
management job.
issue. Yeah, that's a management job, and that is a beckoning of an issue. I feel like
Right?
there should be somebody who's getting paid to make sure that those things are being run like tight ships, and you can only rely on your community so much for that.
Yeah.
Like with indies, I know it's fine, and a lot of people have their friends taking those roles, but like you can't run like that in like an agency. It doesn't work.
Right?
No.
Oh, I was kind of
Yeah.
wondering that myself, because I do feel like people in your audience might know like the inner workings of how you want things run in Discord, because there's a lot of like nuanced rules sometimes. And I was like, when the corporations assign mods to the girls or the VTubers, like they usually do in the big agencies, I'm like, do they know how to run things? I guess they must run their Discord like very cleanly with a lot of rules. That makes managing it easier.
Yeah.
Yeah, I would say the talents have no control over what the rules are usually in their servers to some
okay.
degree.
Yeah. I agree.
It's to avoid as much trouble as possible. That makes sense.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Oh my gosh, my model is bugging out because I adjusted my glasses and now it doesn't know where my eyeballs are. Okay, it's fixed.
No.
It's fixed. Recalibrated. We're good. But yeah, everyone, thank you so much, so much for making this happening. I've been trying to get my friends together on a stream like this for so long, and finally I was just like, guys, we're doing it this day. I hope you can come, which is
What the dog do?
Yeah, the turnout was
Yeah.
great. This is so fun.
Yeah, it's been fun. I agree.
Yeah.
Thank you for arranging all this. It was great.
I'm glad no one felt like flipping the table.
I mean,
I was like, I know
We're not that kind of group.
I know, but
No.
some of my hot takes are just too spicy. I don't know.
I don't know.
But no.
I think we're all pretty level-headed around these parts.
Yeah, I know. I'm so glad that I have met all of you guys and kind of forced you in this room with me.
Yeah,
And
it's all
now-
because
thank you
of
for
you.
reaching out to us. At least for
Yeah.
me, like I would have never met you guys otherwise. So it's such a treat.
Very
Yeah,
true.
same.
Yeah.
Mine was like, I watch Yam on YouTube, and then suddenly Yam sends me a DM on Twitter, and I was like,
no.
what do I do?
Yams in the DMs. What the fuck?
And the way I get you guys together is I just, look at the recommended on my own YouTube, and then I'm like, VTuber in an edited video.
Yoink, yoink.
Yoink, yoink, yoink. But yeah,
Well, I'm honored.
yeah.
Yeah.
Do this
I
instead.
hope we'll find opportunities to do it again.
Yeah.
Yeah, me too.
Yeah,
was great.
We gotta do this again. And this is what you guys should probably do instead of joining a micro agency, is just reach out to people
Yeah.
and
Yep.
force them in a room together like this. But you guys, thank you so much for watching. Follow everyone in the link the description, there is links to all of these awesome people here. And, you know, I hope to make this a regular segment on my channel, so feel free to follow and subscribe if you haven't. And all these people make good content just like me, so while you're waiting for my monthly uploads, go check out their channels, because we all, like, make content, and you could have a lot more VTuber analysis content if you just subscribe to all of us, and then you're gonna never run out of content. Like, see?
Good pitch.
So yeah, thank you everybody so much for watching, and as always, take care, Bat Bunch.
Subscribe!
Subscribe!